This is the Andy Citron Injury Attorneys Friday Night Rivals, presented by Alabama Power.
They've been rolling in since about 4:30 here, ready to get this one underway. It's a rivalry game on the Eastern Shore, but more importantly, the start of region play as the Spanish Fort Toros make the 5-mile commute over here to Daphne to take on the home team, the Trojans, here at Jubilee Stadium. Good evening. I'm Jim Cox. My partners, as always, Dan Brennan and Vic Lockett. Dan, we saw this Spanish Fort team last week. They lost to a 7A McGill team. Daphne lost to a 7A playoff team in Theodore last week as well. I think we'll get a little better feel where these teams are as they're both in a 6A game tonight.
Yeah, and I think with the rivalry of this game, too, things are going to be a little hyped up, and these teams might be a little excitable at the very beginning of this game. But you're right. Remember, a year ago, Spanish Fort had the same thing happen. They got beat pretty badly by McGill, then ran off 11 straight wins, most of those in the more comfortable, though not that comfortable, 6A.
Yeah, this Spanish Fort team only scored 7 points last week, so obviously they're going to want to get that offense going more. They've got a dynamic playmaker. They got on the ball a lot last week, didn't get in the end zone, but don't expect that to change much tonight.
No, this guy's really exceptional. He's really good at Ole Miss, it looks like right now. Chris Abrams-Drain, you see last week, a pretty productive week for him. 8 catches, and they targeted him a number of other times, and McGill had him double-teamed and were able to knock it away. But exceptional before he gets the ball and really good after he catches it. He's somebody that Daphne is going to be very aware of tonight.
Yeah, we'll see him come in at quarterback as well and run the offense there also. So defensively, you know, that's what Kenny King has really built this program on in his first 3 years, Vic Lockett. They've given up 13 points a game over those 3 years. So that you expect to continue. And they also got some playmakers, especially there at the linebacker spot.
Yeah, Hamilton Baker, he's the guy that runs the defense. He's kind of the quarterback of the defense, Kenny tells me. Says he's a straight-A guy. And I guess so. He's committed to Army, and he's going to take his talents there next year. A little bit dinged up tonight, so you may see him come off the bench and play, but not necessarily come out there on the first play. But he will get significant playing time and be a factor in this football game.
Yeah, he's going to need to step up and stop defensively, this Trojan team. But again, this is a matchup. It's favored Spanish Fort. Daphne's only won one time. But if you talk to the Daphne folks, they say, hey, our kids won in middle school against Spanish Fort. They won in the JV game. So the kids that are now seniors, they feel like they might have Spanish Fort's number coming in to this one tonight. That's where we're at. We're in Daphne 6A Region 1 matchup as the Andy Citron Injury Attorneys Friday Night Rivals gets ready to kick off right after this. And the Trojans and the Toros both on the field as we get ready to start this one here at Jubilee Stadium in Daphne. 6A Region 1 matchup. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett. We'll hear from Amanda Booz after the kickoff. Jared Kihas in the truck with all of our great crew. David Sharp, our statistician, as Daphne will kick off and the Toros will get it first. Corey Bonner to kick for the Trojans. Johnny Morris, Chris Abrams-Drain, and Brazil Patrick back deep. Both these teams big issues with cramping last week. We'll see if that's a factor tonight as well. Bonner sends this one back to the 5. And Jeremiah Hickson out across the 30. And let's welcome in Amanda down at the sideline. Good evening, Amanda.
Hey, good evening, Jim. Thank you guys so much for the warm welcome. It feels good to be here for another Friday night rival game, Daphne against Spanish Fort. Now, I had a chance to speak to the coach of Daphne earlier this evening, and he's very excited about this team. He started out back in 2016, so a lot of these freshmen started out and now are seniors this year, so he says they know exactly what to expect tonight, so tonight's matchup is going to be a special one. Back to you, Jim.
All right, thanks, Amanda. Jackson Burkholder, the senior, his brother, comes in motion to the tight end to the right side, and he'll give it off. Johnny Morris, the sophomore, pushes ahead out to about the 37-yard line. He had some cramps last week, left the game in the second half. And there's Ben Blackman, head coach, 5th year. Look at that gaudy record at Spanish Fort. 47-8 overall. He's only lost one region game in 4 years. That was to Blunt back in 2016. 99-42 overall at his other stops.
Gaudy is a good way to put that record.
It is.
Very descriptive.
So impressive. He's 4-0 all-time against the Trojans. Burkhalter looks far side. That one tipped and incomplete as he tried to get it to Brazil Patrick. He also was battling cramps last week, so a 3rd and 3. Coming up here for the Toros. There's Spanish Fort up front. Got some changes Jack Myers at center moved over from right guard last week with Dylan Peterson getting hurt, so he's had a week to work at that center position. Wilson, Manley, Dobson, and Crawford out there as well. Abrams, Drain, and Patrick, McGowan, Burkholder, the tight end. And you've got Burkholder also at quarterback, Johnny Morris in the backfield. We'll see some others back there as well. Loose snap, fall on by Burkholder back to the 29-yard line, and miscue by the Toros. We saw plenty of those last week in the first week for Spanish Fort, and that's going to bring on a punt for the Toros as they can't convert there on 3rd and short. Daphne defense on that Purdue, the big freshman there at 283. Smith had a sack last week. John Davis, 4 tackles for loss last week. Karowski, Hankins, and also Pruitt. We'll see Hamilton Baker in there as well. Muse, Stewart, Reynolds, and Bradley in the secondary. Q Miles back deep to receive the punt from Brady Phillips. High punt, and Miles will get away from it. Takes a pretty good Toro roll. At about the 27-yard line. See this Daphne offense. Here's Kenny King, 4th year. Really likes how he's kind of got his arms wrapped around this program now in year 4. And as Amanda talked about, you know, these kids that are seniors, they've only known Kenny now as their head coach.
Yeah,
so
that's their guy.
Yep. And of course, we talked about it with Vic in the open that he's built. His team's always with great defense.
And aggressive defense, too.
Yep.
They are not afraid to challenge you and mix things up and slide people around to get pressure.
First look at Trent Battle, our guest in the pregame show. 2 rushing touchdowns last week, and also threw it for almost 250 yards before he left the game with cramps. And there's Malik McLean. You're going to see a lot of him, 6'6", 175, also a track star. So he's a great target that Trent Battle talked about in the pregame show. Hicks, Bueller, Galmich, Molden, and Pope up front. And then we got Miles, who had 9 receptions for 137 yards last week. McLean, Darius Johnson, and Holmes. Bradley in the backfield. And they'll give it off a little reverse now, coming around the near side, trying to get the corner turned and pushed out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Going to be good for a first down. Spanish Fort defense gave up 37 last week to McT, Babs, Hickey, and Johnson up front. They lost 2 linebackers for the season in that game, Jacob Davis and KJ Henderson. Nolan Wilson, Moore. Wiggins moves up from safety now to play linebacker. Juan Troy, Xavier Love, Skylar Smith, and Micah Gaffney in a reworked secondary now for Ben Blackman and Tony Stoneker's crew.
Yeah, I saw where Xavier Love switched off from corner to strong safety, and I'm telling you, he's a Swiss Army knife guy for that team because, you know, last year we saw him playing running back, and he looked really good at that position.
He did.
So they moved Skylar Smith over to start as a sophomore there. Brady Wiggins from safety up to linebacker. Let's get a look at the flag here.
You know, that just goes to show all the talent that they've got over here on this Eastern Shore to be able to get players on the bus, but in the right seats.
Legal substitution against the Toros, and that'll be declined, so they'll take the gain.
Looks like he's short of the first down. Is what they're, or no.
There's the final adjustment.
I think they couldn't move it until they got the penalty announced. So Battle gives it off to Tyler Bradley, the sophomore, with a little seam, and he gashes it across midfield to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 17 for the sophomore. Only had 23 yards rushing on the ground last week. Daphne only rushed it for 34 yards all of last week.
Yeah, meanwhile, Theodore showed him how to rush it. They went at about 287, but the little counter play there with the tailback.
Beautifully executed, wasn't it?
Yeah, they executed it up front very, very efficiently. Of course, when you talk about efficiency, when it's big bodies hitting big bodies, it's a little more brutal than being efficient.
Empty the backfield quickly. They come right back to Bradley, who goes to the right side and cuts it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
Guys, I think a lot of what Spanish Fort had to contend with last week, you're going to have to contend with this week, and that is Daphne's speed. They've got a lot of speed. McGill Tulin had a lot of speed. and were able to, they were able to use that speed to their advantage. So get ready, Spanish Fort, because this team is quick.
Well, they're trying to get to the edges and get them running left and right, so we'll see if it does be a factor.
Got 5 on first down. And nowhere to go there.
Well, that's what happens, I guess, when you stay inside the tackles.
Yeah, and I think there was a little room to the outside.
Again.
Robert Hodge, his first carry of the season.
Might have got one there, Jim.
Yep. 3rd and 4. Colby Nolan, the outside linebacker there. Miles in motion. Fake to him. Battle comes to the near side. Able to go right back to McClain. And he's going to have the first down at the 30-yard line.
With McClain, why wouldn't you, Vic? 6'6" and an athlete.
Yeah. He's open every time, right? He's open when he's not open.
And he was open.
Yes. You just put it up above the rim for him, and, he'll go up there and take it off the rim and turn it into a positive yardage like that.
Gain of 8, of course. Saw Battle last year, and really a great athlete to pull it down and run, but had a great 7-on-7 season. That's what the coaches wanted to see, is him growing, throwing the ball, and 15 to 22 last week for 248. Gives it off to Hodge, and we're seeing some shiftiness out of these backs early on here from the Trojans.
Yeah, they are quick. They're not that big, the running backs, but they've got good speed.
Late flag dropped. It's an odd place to drop that flag, all the way inside the near hash, and the ball was placed at the far hash at the end of the play. Oh, it's going to be a sideline warning against Daphne.
Yeah, something on the sideline, either said or, yeah, there you go, a little too close. Again, we were talking about at the beginning of this game, things going to be a little excitable. These kids know each other. And,
yep.
Emotions running high.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any love lost between the teams, to be honest with you.
All that'll settle down here toward the end of the first quarter, and then you'll just get the real football then.
Darius Johnson split out top. Give it back off. Bradley waits for a block, sets it up. Oh, great open field tackle there as he tried to turn the corner, but Micah Gaffney, this junior, came up and stopped him. Otherwise, it looked like he was going to turn the corner and rip it up the sideline.
Well, that's how you get off the block and make a play.
He did. He was getting blocked and still was able to make the play. It looked like that play was going to go for a lot more. So
they still pick up the first down right inside the 20.
Good effort by Gaffney. Might have saved a touchdown.
Started last year for the Toros as just a sophomore. Zach Golson, the offensive coordinator here for the Trojans, his second year with Kenny King.
Former Prattville quarterback and OC at McGill.
Kind of like having a Trent Battle as your quarterback when you're calling plays.
Maybe that's why you take the job.
Battle fakes the pitch, cuts it inside, still on his feet inside the 10. It's going to set up a 1st and goal here for the Daphne Trojans. Impressive first drive thus far for Daphne.
Yeah, Battle looks real good at the controls there. He just had a little bit of crease right there, and he slips right on through there. And the rest of it is just effort.
How about the variety of play selection, Vic? That Daphne's showing offensively a lot of imagination.
Sure.
And a lot of this, we're expecting that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think their philosophy for tonight must be to get these big boys running left and right, chasing them. And then later on, they may switch the game plan up and then have some success up the middle.
Overload the near side. Battle steps inside the 5 and is knocked out of bounds down around the 3.
That was the quarterback power the whole way. Battle never even dreaming of throwing the football. That was just Battle as basically a tailback there. Mm-hmm. Takes the snap, and the blocking on the left side is all specifically for him.
Yeah, as they like to say, call his own number.
Yep. He had some help on the left side.
For sure.
2nd and goal coming up here for the Trojans. As we're 5 minutes into this one here in Daphne tonight. 6A Region 1 matchup.
Clock down to 8 seconds. And you have to take a timeout.
Yep. Took a little while to get that one in and get everybody set, but
don't want to waste a down there.
Nope, not on 2nd and goal, so timeout taken. And Daphne will talk about this one as take a look at what else is going on here. Last night, Cannon got painted orange again as McGill beat Murphy 28-6. That was a close game couple of touchdowns scored in the second half, and then McGill-Tulin pulled away. See Jackson and Clark County last night, along with Millry and Washington. Fairhope and Mary G tonight. Baker and Theodores. Theodore tries to stay perfect on the year. Alma Bryant and Davidson, and Foley taking on Thompson. What a tough draw that is to go up to take on Thompson tonight for the Foley Lions. Saraland, BC Rain, Blunt and Robertsdale. Gulf Shores of Baldwin County. Park Crossing coming down to take on St. Paul. Citronelle and Leroy. Faith and Bayside. LaFleur and Williamson matching up tonight. A lot of people think both those teams be greatly improved, both LaFleur and Williamson.
Yeah, last hopping tonight.
Yep. The game's brought to you by Barrow Fine Furniture. Get ready for the 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Daphne wants to make certain they got the right personnel, the right play, and everybody knows what to do. Now let's see them do it.
Double tight end here. And they'll give it off. Bradley on the right side, hit and driven backwards. Bradley tried to go there, but the sophomore Avery Wilson met the sophomore ball carrier.
The trio of help there. Is it called Fontroy?
Fontroy was there, as was
Carlos was there too, our pregame guest.
Big smile on that young man's face the whole time we were talking to him.
It's like he just got off a ride at Disney.
Happy he's not smiling now. I bet he's got a serious look of business out there right now.
I'll tell you, he's a joyful kid, though, and he's
so excited about South. He's so excited about going to join South.
He really is. Yeah, he's committed to South Alabama. Carlos Johnson, who we're speaking of, number 90, big defensive tackle for Spanish Fort.
Play clock already under 10 here on 3rd and goal. And now they'll put 2 receivers out top, and they'll send Bradley get him set. They did not get it off. Did they get it off? They did, and it goes off the hands of Malik McLean. Incomplete. I didn't think they got the play off.
Close. Very close. And boy, McLean one-on-one on a slant, and he was there. I'm not sure how Battle missed him.
Yeah, I think he just kind of overshot him behind him there, and he made every effort, but just couldn't do it.
Daphne there with the coverage. And so...
Yeah, Daphne at 5'11", giving away 7 inches down in the end zone to that guy.
Bonner on for the PAT, or for the attempt. They were going to fake it. It looked like it's just a high snap, and now Bonner wants to throw into the end zone as he was looking for Malik McLean, and they tried a little, I think it was going to be a design fake there.
You think so?
It sure looked like, we'll watch it again. I thought it was going to be.
I'm not sure what it was, other than it didn't look good. And you hate to see that after such a promising drive going down the field. Let's see. Yeah, he kind of rose up a little bit early. I don't know if he just saw the snap. I don't know. Could have been either way.
The angle the kicker was taking, that's what I was taking my cues from. It looked like the kicker was going like...
Just running?
Like he might get it thrown to him. Like
okay.
Hand it off.
That is a good cue there.
So they come away empty. What a stop for Spanish Fort at 1st and goal.
Do you call it a stop, or did Daphne stop themselves? Because on 3rd down...
A little bit of both.
Yeah, they had what they wanted.
But, you think about, too, they had the rhythm going, then they had to take the timeout, and give the defense a little chance to rest, catch their breath as well. And so now...
They definitely collected themselves and came up with the stop. So Spanish Fort very fortunate there to get this football back, and Daphne has 0 points to show for a how many minute drive?
Yeah, that was probably about it was 4+ minutes for sure. And so now Toros are backed up almost all the way back to Spanish Fort. The 4s, they give it off, and not much running room. There's Johnny Morris is going to lose 2, and he's going to be all the way back to the 1.
Yeah, that's
Ricky Hankins.
Hankins, a middle linebacker, penetrating. That's what Daphne likes to do. They read and react sometimes, but what they really like to do is attack. And Hankins is there.
Unblocked.
Yeah.
His 2nd tackle for a loss on the season.
They're thinking safety here, the way this defense attacks.
Burkhalter. Now he's going to try and run it out of there, and he just lunges and gets out of the end zone barely. You're right, Dan Brennan. That play did not come off as designed.
Well, these offenses are not too sharp so far. They're hurting themselves, and that was Drain and Burkhalter not on the same page. And Burkhalter, good thing he's 6'5".
Yeah, if he's 6'3", that's 2 points for Daphne.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he just... Yeah, now they get a procedure.
Yeah, so they put Abrams Drain in at quarterback here just to try to get him to run the ball out of there to get a little bit of room to bring on the punt team. Of course, he's always dangerous to break one, but
False start. Offense. Half the distance to the goal.
It's pretty much academic
Third
law.
down.
Pick up the ball
remains
and
the down, yeah.
move it 2 blades of grass back
Yeah,
to
just
the
kind
north.
of twisted.
3rd and 13. See if they keep Abrams Drain at quarterback, or indeed they will. The Ole Miss commit. Fakes the handoff and goes right up the middle. And Abrams Drain, the playmaker, is going to pick up the first down from the shadow of his own goalpost.
Well, that's what he's here for tonight, right, boys?
Yeah, they got some blocking up front, too. Drain doesn't need a lot, but they gave him a good bit to work with right here. Nice double team. Drain's got, and he gets the first down easily with his speed and vision.
Yeah, he had Highway 90 open up right there. That was
His first time
that
today
was
was
clear,
open.
and the traffic coming across the bay, wasn't it?
Any day.
All right. It didn't cost him $6 to go through the hole. 4:40 to go. We'll get a heat timeout here in Daphne. Scoreless on the big rivalry on the Eastern Shore on Friday Night Rivals, brought to you by Andy Citron Injury Attorneys. So we've had some action, but no scoring here to start this one on Friday Night Rivals. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Amanda Booz on the sideline, David Sharp, our statistician here, Jared Kihas with us. But we got lots of people watching here. Terry Curtis, head coach of UMS, his game canceled because of weather in Florida, so he's tuning into the UTV 44 game of the week tonight. Abrams Drain the outside, makes the move at the 30 and goes out of bounds at the 32-yard line for a pickup of 15.
Yeah, talking about Abrams Drain before the game was no-brainer, right?
Oh.
He really can take an offense that is stalling a little bit, take it into his own arms and legs, and be
Just change the
productive.
tempo as well.
Absolutely,
They said without a spark, well, he provides a flame.
he does, and they needed it.
Yes.
They're backed up all the way to just outside their own goal line on this drive. Keeps it off.
And also says a
Taylor.
lot there for Blackman to trust him with his feet in the end zone to handle the football.
Well, and also this offense, it kind of staggered out of the gate. The first drive that they had it too. They had some opportunities and did not convert. So, and of course, that second drive, starting where it did, had them in a tough spot. Burkhalter back taking the snap now.
2nd and 7 here for the Toros. Back off Morris, tries the cutback, and he stood up and driven back as Ricky Hankins with another big stop.
Ricky likes to hit.
You know, Coach King mentioned him to me down there pregame, and now I'm starting to see why.
Yep.
I mean, he is a busy bee back there, 5'10", 165-pound junior. He said Hankins can play some football, and he's showing it.
Dan alluded to it. I mean, Theodore just ran the ball all over, 278 yards last week on the ground against this Daphne team. And it was just Kenny talked about it. He said it was kind of old school, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They just pounded at us all night.
Yeah, they did. And I was kind of, when I read the reports of that game, that really jumped out at me.
3rd and 6. Burkhalter fires it back. Abrams Drain in space and cuts it back, and he's going to be very close to the first down. I think he's going to be just a smidge short looking at the spot on the far side. He kind of lost his footing on the cut.
His first cut was pretty remarkable.
Going to give him the first down.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty close, and they're usually generous to the offense.
So quick.
Go right back up to the line of scrimmage. Burkhalter looking, wants to air it out, trying to go wide to the near side, and it's incomplete. So he was looking for Brazil Patrick, the senior, and Patrick was back there, had single coverage against Bryson Cleveland, and
he throws it more to the middle of the field.
he's got him he's able to break away and take it.
Yeah.
I still thought it was pretty catchable, though. He put it up there on a rainbow, trying to get him the chance to run under it and find it.
Not sure if he
just wasn't able to do it.
Not sure if he was under duress or if he maybe had a little more time to try to get it to him, but they took a shot there.
One-on-one.
Yep.
And Daphne will give you that, Vic, because they commit a lot of players to the line of scrimmage, and
it's there for the taking, huh?
Yeah, it can be.
Johnny Morris on the left side breaks the tackle, stays on his feet to midfield, and it'll bring up 3rd and short
If you remember
the Toros.
before things went haywire against McGill last week, Spanish Fort had some success running the football between the tackles.
Yep.
That's the one place they did have success.
You're right.
In that first half.
Just kind of got away from it.
Yeah.
And
the
game credit McGill as well.
Yeah,
getting
the
them
game
away
plan
from
gets away from you, right?
Sure.
3rd and less than a yard. Burkhalter going to throw it. He's going to air it out, looking for Abrams. Drain down the right side. It's tipped up and incomplete at the 10.
Wow, I think it hit him right in the shoulder pad.
Going up against Bryson Cleveland there, the sophomore. And I think that tells you Ben thinking we're going for this if we don't get it on 4th down.
No doubt. For him to do this right here, and he just about had him drained with a little shove.
And off his face mask.
Yeah.
Face mask right in his shoulder pad.
There's no doubt that was a 3rd and 1, knowing they would go for it on 4th down. And why not take the chance when you got a talent like Drain, you got a quarterback like Burkhalter?
Yeah, and the corner, Bryson Cleveland, had also just ran down the field chasing after the attempted pass there to Brazil. And now,
I think it was an offsides, but that's a little bit more yardage than offsides. It was a flag. And
that's a 15-yard walk-off there, Vic Lockett.
I think I saw a Daphne player with his helmet off at one point.
At the end of the play, there was a helmet off. Of course, we were all looking downfield.
Yeah, he's kind of giving a gesture.
Somebody said that things might get a little spicy down there, so
you got to keep your lid on.
Wow.
And you got to keep a lid on your personality and attitude as well.
So you don't have to go for it now on 4th and 1 if you're the Toros.
Nope.
Well, this is one team you don't need to give any gifts, right?
Yeah. Gone 65 yards in this drive already. Farida didn't hear the call.
Surprised last week that Burkhalter didn't target his brother more often either. A very talented 6'5" tight end.
Morris up the middle, stays low on his feet to the 28. Jarius Pruitt, the senior linebacker, in there to make the stop. Picks up 7. Give him a long 6. More folks watching. Bobby Aberscotto watching in Mobile tonight. Also Stephanie Poe watching in Orange Beach. So we're inside 2 minutes. Taylor in the middle, going to have the Toro 1st down. What a drive this has been.
Aided by that unsportsmanlike.
Well, how about 3rd and 12 from your own 1 and you pick it up on a quarterback keeper?
Yeah. That was Abrams Drain just taking the snap, getting a good double team block, and getting those 13 yards.
Drain keeps it. Fancy move at the 20. Pushed out of bounds. Now a late flag there. I wonder if that's going to be grasping the face mask as they were shoving out of bounds. And let's see here.
Look at this sidestep right there.
Whoop. Yeah, I think that's going to get him on the face. Yep, the face mask there at the end of the play.
Is that going to be offensive, defensive?
I believe the call is going against Terrence Muse.
Okay.
Let's see. Looked like he had a hold of it. I didn't notice if Drain had him or not.
You know I'm biased towards the defense. Self-admitted. I think we'll get a verdict now.
Personal foul. Flat to the head against the offense. 15 yards, replay 1st down.
Yeah, I thought I saw that. Okay. So I do win that one for a change. They do finally call it. They see there, right there.
And Abrams Drain has had he's had an edge going up against the DBs certainly on this drive. You've seen some of that.
He had an edge before the game.
It's rarely called. It's rarely called, and it should be called often because a defender's neck is just as valuable as an offensive player's neck.
A lot of people would disagree, Vic. No, of course it is. Vic Lockett, if you don't know, was a great player here in Mobile and went on to the University of Alabama, number 99, a linebacker on a national championship team.
Very biased towards the defense.
2 SEC titles for Vic Lockett as well as Cass Taylor doesn't get much there on first down. Henry Hardy says to say hello. Think like your old coach at Shaw.
Oh, absolutely. Good old Coach Hardy. Hello, Coach.
Willis Wilcox, who usually does a good job of keeping us updated from the UMS games with a score. He's watching tonight since UMS was going to play a team out of Miami, and they had to cancel the game. They were playing over at the Freedom Bowl, and with the school in Miami to say we can't send our kids out when it looked like the hurricane was going to be coming down there, which
Concerns
certainly
getting back.
Yeah, we all certainly understand that. Burkhalter back in, looking down the far side, and he overthrows it because he was trying to go to his brother that Dan had said kind of surprised he didn't see more chances last week.
He targeted him a couple of times last week, but that one there, I don't know what happened. That kind of, what'd you see there, Dan?
Now, I'm not exactly sure what happened at the end of the play. It looked like just a little wheel route maybe because he got so wide open down the sideline.
Yeah, and I thought it was a catchable ball. Burkhalter threw a little nice softy out there for his younger or older brother. I don't know
Younger
which
brother?
one.
It was a little ice cream cone.
Yeah,
Sure.
and I thought he was going to score on that one.
3rd and 18 here. Not quite all the way to Fairhope is where Spanish Fort has to get on this 3rd down, but it's close. Play clock down to 1.
They stopped it this
Give it
time.
off. I don't know if Coach Blackman called a timeout on the far side.
I don't think he did.
Third down.
Yeah, just taking a little too long trying to get the perfect play in there.
You come up with a perfect play for 3rd and 23, you become the national coach of the year.
Yeah, well, you got Drain, so that's a huge weapon, so anything's possible with him.
Travis
Helps your odds.
For
Travis
sure.
McGowan will split to the bottom of the screen here. And Burkhalter again went out with pressure coming in. Eludes it. Rolls out to the far side. He's going to try to tuck it, but he's got to go a long way, and he'll just get pushed out of bounds at the 30. Is good coverage downfield by the secondary of the Trojans.
Good decision by Burkhalter there, just to get all that he can, get him closer into field goal range, and not turn the football over, trying to force it in there to somebody.
I don't know that Ben Blackman agrees with everything you're saying, the way he's giving him a piece of his mind, so I don't know where
I
Ben's
bet that's the
referring to.
previous play where they ran out of time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my guess.
Good guess.
It'll be a
Well, they go
47-yard
punt.
attempt from here, so they'll try to pin the Toros back. An angle kick. Good kick there by Brady Phillips, who struggled a little bit punting the ball in the first half last week against McGill, but a good kick down inside the 5. So other games going on tonight. W.S. Neal at Satsuma, Escambia County hosting Wilcox Central. Monroe County taking on J.F. Shields. Andalusia and Trinity tonight. Montgomery Academy's at Hillcrest Evergreen. Northview and Flomenton. And T.R. Miller and Choctaw played last night. Thomasville and Sweetwater. We've been to that game, Dan Brennan.
We have been to that
It's
game.
a great atmosphere. J.U. Blackshear and Prattville Christian. St. Luke's at home tonight because of Cottage Hill. R.C. Hatch at Francis Marion. Marengo at Southern Choctaw. And UMS and Western, of course, canceled for tomorrow night. And out of his own end zone, Battle wants to air this one out. Looking up the far sideline. He drops it complete at the 43-yard line as he goes up high to Darius Johnson for his 6th catch of the year, and he picks up 39.
How many
Nice
guys?
rainbow, huh?
Yeah, and great throw. And it's like, how many guys do they have on this team that can run?
Great protection. Dropped it right in his hands on the far sideline in front of the Toro bench.
That's one way to get out of the
That'll flip
out of the trap at the 5-yard line.
And that'll bring the first quarter to a close. Scoreless here, and we've had some excitement, but no scoring yet. Now, a big play to start this drive for the Trojans, and they're up across their own 40 as it's the Andy Citron Friday Night Rivals. Second quarter action coming up right after this on UTV 44. Friday Night Rivals brought to you by Andy Citron Injury Attorneys, and a great atmosphere here in Daphne. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Amanda Booz on the sideline, Jared Keyhouse and our great crew, David Sharp, our statistician, in there as Bradley, the sophomore, hurdles this one across midfield into Toro territory, and that looks like that's going to be good for another Daphne first down. So both teams with long drives coming away with nothing. A 15-play drive and then a 14-play drive that resulted in no points.
Bradley looked good turning that corner right there.
He did. They're also blocking well up front, Vic. You can't. Speed's one thing, but you got to give him a little room, right?
Absolutely.
Battle comes to the near side and trying to break free. There was Johnson who had the big catch to start this drive. And Johnson and Xavier Love exchanging pleasantries there.
Yeah, these refs are doing a great job of keeping these kids under control in this game, being contained. I like what I see out of them. Scooby and the crew.
They're putting cigarettes out in the dynamite shed. You know? You can't smoke in here.
Yeah.
Saraland on top of BC Rain, 21-0 in the first quarter. Saraland,
number 1 in the country.
Number 1 in
this state.
6A, yeah. And how about Daphne? They open up the season. They played Theodore last week. Continue on with that as Bradley stopped there after a gain of 2. So they played 7A playoff team Theodore to start the season. They play Spanish Fort tonight. Next week they go to Saraland. So their schedule heavily front-loaded.
Tough sledding, huh?
Injured Brooks Bueller down there for the Trojans. Looks like that might be they're hoping that's a cramp. And as you said, both teams had some issues with that last week. It's certainly warm and humid as we get a lot here in the early parts of the season, and looks like Bueller's going to be hopefully okay and will come.
Yeah, it's good to see
back
that
in.
young man up on his feet. Let's pray he's okay and get some Powerade and back in and continue competing. But
Something
not
about
looking real good there.
No, something about that did not look like a cramp when I first saw it, so I don't want to say anything further. Hopefully it is, but the way he went down, I'm not sure that was the case. So
I thought they were massaging his calf. That's why I thought that was.
Let's hope.
Yep. 3rd and 5 here. Park Crossing leading St. Paul's 7-6. Report we're getting there. Now here's Battle. Drops back, looks to pass, wants to go over the middle, zips this one complete to Miles, edges toward the corner, touchdown Trojans.
They had 3 wide.
43 yards.
3 wide to the top of the screen, and you just knew. I'll tell you could battle a little time. He's a different quarterback than we saw last year, Vic.
Yeah, I mean, right there, they ran that trip. The slot guy you knew was going to traverse the field, Larry, and put pressure on the defense, and it certainly did, and it resulted in a good score there. Let's take a look at it.
Miles was one of the wide receivers that Battle talked about in the pregame show.
Miles can fly.
Had 9 catches last week, 15-yard average, 137 total, and keeps that going here tonight as Corey Bonner will try to make it 7-0. And Bonner does just that. Daphne on the board first. A minute into the second quarter. On top of the rivals from Spanish Sports, 7-0 on the touchdown pass, 42 yards. Battle to Miles. Our young man on the pregame show, Trent Battle, with the big 2 passes there on that drive.
Well, I don't know how he's going to do in college football. I've already projected him as a United States Senator. So that's how much he impressed us in the pregame show. Plus, you hear about the young guy, too. You know, word gets on the street about
IB program, 4.0 GPA. And I might be actually underselling him on the 4.0 GPA. I know it's great. We were talking with his mom, Benita, before the game. And it didn't look like at the house when he was growing up he had a chance to get away with much. It looked like mom and dad kept the young man in line.
They were on top of it, and we could see the fruits.
Yeah. And we talk to be a quarterback, like it's a tough job no matter what level you're at. Your teammates got to respect you. You got to be a leader, and you see that in so many of these young men.
You see it in Battle tonight, and didn't Arsenault impress us last week from McGill-Tulane? a first-year starter. Man, they put a lot on his plate, and he delivered.
You know, not to diminish what you guys said, but the coaching, too, sets these quarterbacks up because you can reinforce what the quarterback's doing to set them up to be leaders.
Good point.
Or you can tear them down.
Yep.
Bonner kicked all the way back to the 11 as Hickson takes this one up to the 30-yard line.
I used to get tore down a lot, but I actually agreed with that.
Yep.
I thought they were right.
Yep. So our friends at Craneworks helping us talk to you, the fans. Send us a question. Hey, guys, at utv44.com, or almost everybody has Dan and my cell number, but Lockett's, if you're one of the few to have that, you can send him a text during the game.
Red Elephant Club.
Yeah, but send us text or send us emails. We'll try our best to answer the questions on the air. Thanks for Craneworks for being a part of our broadcast here. We love hearing from the fans. We got folks checking in from all over.
Cox, what's your
tonight.
cell number again?
Big Lockett.
After this play, I'll see.
Inside handoff is Cass Taylor's. He's up to the 35-yard line on first down here for the Toros. Scoreless Fairhope and Mary G in the second. Blunt a 6-0 lead over Robertsdale. Thompson on top of Foley early. Abrams Drain hands this one off, and Taylor again. This time he lumbers all the way up to a near midfield to the 49 and a first down for the Toros.
Like something in that A-gap there. Yep. Spanish Fort. They're going to keep doing it, I guess, until Daphne decides to stop it.
Of course, Myers moved over from center. Moved over to center from right guard after Peterson got hurt last week. So now you got Deshaun Dobson over there on the right side.
I'll tell you one thing. This Daphne team, they like to crowd things up front and put their guys on an island one-on-one on the outside.
And you better get home if that's the case, right?
Yep.
You got some danger there. Hamilton. You saw him as well. Big freshman up front for this Daphne team.
Another flag, and
I think the umpire saw something in the interior.
Oh, yeah.
Or heard something.
They're scrapping. And
personal foul against the Trojans. It's going to move it all the way.
Tell you what, that's
down
something
to
that
the
can come
30.
back to haunt you because Spanish Fort doesn't need a lot of assists.
between these two teams, I mean, a Boy Scout meeting hasn't broken out so far. That's for sure.
The 33. First down. And they'll keep Abrams Drain. Quarterback. Oh, drop the football, and he falls on it. Whew.
Is that one of those RPOs going the other direction bad?
It almost looked like there was just too much space between the back when he went to go give the handoff here. Let's look at Cass Taylor.
Yeah, it looks like he was reading that outside in there, whether to pull or give. And
I think he wanted to keep it.
Yeah, exactly. And the back said, hey, I'll take it.
Another flag. Sideline warning against Spanish Fort. That's what on Hard Knocks them getting on Coach Gruden before the game even kicked off to get in the box. You see that, Vic Lockett?
Oh, yeah. Hard Knocks, my favorite show. Best reality TV ever created.
Says something about this game that even both teams' sideline warnings, even the guys not in the game are trying to get in the game.
Yep. 2nd and 12. Abrams Drain looking down the far side and incomplete as he's trying to get that one off to the senior Brazil Patrick.
Yeah, he just sort of chunked that one, just knowing he was going to have him beat because they're expecting run with Drain in the football game, but he's showing off his arm right there.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing, Bryson Cleveland was where he needed to be.
Mm-hmm. He wasn't fooled.
Nope.
Good discipline by that Daphne defense and coached up by Coach Kenny King.
It's 3rd and 13 now. Spanish Fort has not had a lead thus far this year. Fell behind 14-0 quickly last week against McGill. There's going to be a flag on the far side as Brazil Patrick started too soon.
Yeah, they tried to adjust the defense to mess up the blocking schemes, and they stepped over the line, causing an offsides. Oh, no. Offensive. Got him to jump.
Yeah, Patrick started in motion early.
Tell you what, this Spanish 14 bouncing back from a tough loss and a three tough losses injury-wise last week.
2 on the defensive side, and of course, Dylan Peterson. They're hoping maybe he's going to be able to go through some rehab and get back on the field. You really hope that's the case for that young man. Just really want to get out there and enjoy his senior year.
Yep.
3rd and 18.
On the line.
Abrams Drain looking to set up the screen, and that was read perfectly by the Daphne Trojans as Kai Gorowski stayed home to clock it.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. They had actually the double screen call to 2 sides, and he did a good job of just reading that thing and staying home and making a play.
If he went the other way, I don't know what would have happened. If it couldn't have been this bad, because Gorowski was all over that one.
Definitely.
So that'll bring Phillips back out to punt and Miles back to receive. He'll stand at his own 10. Flag.
They have too many men on the field. Thrown back here by the back judge.
Here we go. Coach, you already talked to him?
Sure. So they're going to wave it off.
He's got an equipment issue.
Well, they waved it off.
Well, they send one kid off. I don't think his equipment's correct.
Okay.
So they got to bring another player in.
So no penalty, but he wanted to hold things up.
And that's Carson Peak, the long snapper, who just went out. So that could lead to a potential issue here.
More trouble.
And I think Ben Blackman's going to take a timeout so that Peak can come back in.
Hey, let's
to
get
snap
this
the football.
correct and get that back out there.
Yeah.
Yep. Too critical a substitution.
Yes, because that snap could go over his head.
Yeah.
They checking in with us, guys. Got Miss Millie Fritz
I was just
back
going to
with
ask
us.
about Miss Millie.
She is back with us along with her son, Pastor Reverend Jeffrey Thrash. They checking in to say, hey, we're watching and listening to you guys.
Love you, Miss Millie.
All right, here is our trivia question. Spanish Fort Toros, 0-1 on the season. They've only started the season 0-2 one time in school history.
Yeah, that had to be the first year.
What year was that? Well, do you know what the first year was?
I can come up with something.
I'm confident there. It's
we
a
know
trivia question.
It was post-90s, right?
Yep, in the 2000s.
Yeah, all right, we'll talk about this more in the second half when the trivia question gets answered. It's not.
Well, we're not going to give it away, but these guys showed up on the block.
We were dang close. I was just saying we were pretty close.
And they have been bullies ever since they got on the block. I mean, you talk about that gaudy record that he had.
Yeah, not right away.
Not right away, but
they
got here and they took advantage of everything, and they took over here on the Eastern Shores.
They became mythical. We were like, we need to see this team. We finally saw them in a playoff game at Pritchard Stadium against Viger, and I believe they won that game.
Phillips on the punt, and Miles back at the 10. Hangs that punt up there, and fair catch called for by Miles right at the 10. Another good kick by Brady Phillips. Had one down to the inside the 5, and that one at the 10.
He's done his job.
Nice job by Miles there to put his ankles on that 10 and fair catch that thing, and it go over his head. He'll let it bounce in the end zone.
So you look at Miles, who had the big reception for the only touchdown so far here tonight. I want to thank our friends. Got an office right down the road here. Andy Citron Injury Attorneys. Bring you Friday Night Rivals again this year. Thanks to Andy and his great team there. For being a part of high school football. You see that area that was empty there. That's just been vacated by the band. So they get ready to head down on the field and trying to give this one off to Hodge, and nowhere to go there is good penetration by Avery Wilson, the sophomore.
Hodge saw that hole open up the back door there, and he thought he could put his foot in the ground and cut back through it, but Spanish Fort was having nothing to do with it.
Braden Moore also in there. Second 10 coming up again. Blunt extends their lead over Robertsdale by a score of 18-0. Looking forward to seeing the Leopards this year. They got a lot of young, talented players on that team. Battle. Steps Steps up over the middle, threads the needle, and Miles holds onto it to a first down at the 21.
Nice job by Miles. I mean, that was all hands. You see that stuff on Sunday, huh, Jim?
Oh, yeah. Well, especially this week, we're going to start seeing it for real. So that's a pickup of 12, but another nice ball here by Battle.
Well, next week. This Sunday, we got the college guys.
Yeah.
You'd be checking out Northwestern, right, Jim?
I don't know why you think I have this love for there, like it was a chance I could ever get into a school like that, Lockett. Bradley does not take the handoff, kept by Battle. He sprints up the sidelines. Watch out. Trent Battle inside the 40. No flags. Cuts back at the 20. Still on his feet all the way to the 12.
Talk about growing up.
66 yards on the ground for Battle.
He's going back to his roots there, using his feet.
Yes, he is. We saw a lot of this last year when he was a little more unfamiliar with the position, quite frankly. And
boy, you saw his eyes on that replay, how downfield they were when he pulled it back. Read that one perfectly. And a big play.
And I bet his eyes got big when he saw all that green grass as well.
you just don't see future senators run that fast.
When they become senators, they need to run fast a lot of times. But
yeah.
Not here. Battle. Gives it off to Bradley. He's one of those little backs who can kind of get lost behind his lineman. So gets it inside the 10. All right, let's check in on the sideline. Amanda, what you got?
Hey, so I just, wanted to mention that when I spoke to Coach King earlier, he was talking about how the quarterback Battle is doing very well, how he had a great summer season with the 7-on-7 game, and he's an electric runner, which we just seen on the field here tonight. Jim, back to you.
Yep, sure did. Thank you very much. And
that certainly reaffirms what you guys have been saying all night.
2nd and 7. Fakes the pitch right up the middle, and now they say touchdown Trojans. Wow, they waited for the call. There was not one on the far side, and the near side finally gave it to him. And Trent Battle with the touchdown there after the big 66-yard run to get him in position.
That nice little hesitation step there to fake the pitch out. He just says, no, I'm going to go north and south with this thing and score it himself.
So much more decisive this year, playing with so much confidence. And then, of course, you add that to the talent he already has, and you basically have got a different quarterback this year playing for Daphne High School.
Great job extending that ball right at the goal line there to get it as well. And now we get a flag on all the pre-snap movement.
All teams try to do what we used to call years ago the water bucket, just to see if the defense is disciplined and go line up over there to check the two-play, the two-point conversion. And if they line up correctly, then you just go back and kick the field goal traditionally, get the one extra point.
Put Bonner back 5 yards. Caden Pierce, the holder. Good snap. And Bonner makes it 14-0. Daphne, big play early in the drive, but the biggest one late for Battle there, the touchdown. And the Trojans on top, 14-0. Halfway through the second. Trent Battle, the junior quarterback, has his team on top 14-0. This is a big 66-yard run. And then the touchdown scamper here to put the Trojans on top 14-0. And has the student section excited. 5 plays, 90 yards, 2 minutes and 14 seconds off the clock.
We've got 2 student sections, one on this side and one on the opponent's side.
I like the moxie of going over the opponent's side to
well, it's their home stadium.
Yeah.
They got there first.
As our Metal Roofing Center and Supply raised the roof cam. And now Abrams drain back deep. Bonner sends that one. Will it stay inbounds? Yes, and hops. Oh, no, it does not. It hopped out right before the pylon there.
Well, I see a flag, so it may.
It was close. It went out at the 1.
Yeah.
Looked like it was going to make it all the way to the end zone. All right, now if you're Spanish Fort, second week in a row, you're down 14-0. You got to get something going here on offense.
Well, I tell you what, Coach Blackman, he knows his group, and he's He's been in this position before and won some games, so it would not shock me at all for him to get back in here and make this game very, very competitive.
I think losing Peterson was a big blow. Your senior center, a guy that's been around the program a long time, coming back from an injury before that. So
smart kid can help out with the calls at the line of scrimmage, Vic Lockett.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, they've got a wealth of talent over there. I wouldn't be shocked the replacement gets up to par real quick with that good coaching he's getting over there at Spanish Fort.
Jack Myers shifted over to center, by the way.
During the game last week, and then probably feels a lot more comfortable this week after having a full week of practice. Burkhalter looks over the middle of the field. Abrams Drain's got it at the 45, and he's up to the 49. First down there. Pick up 16.
That guy right there can turn things around real quick as well.
He really can. They were put together a local Dancing with the Stars. Sign him up.
He'd be a candidate. Burkhalter's doing a good job getting it to him as well.
Well sent right through the legs, and Burkhalter racing back all the way down to the 29-yard line as it's fallen on by Johnny Morris.
You know, just talking about that center being out of the game. So right there, it showed up glaringly.
Yeah, I think in plays like that, it's really showing up, and I think in maybe more subtle ways, otherwise it's showing up, but that just hurts, and they've been their own worst enemy on offense. They've had opportunities to make some plays. They have made some plays, but then they put themselves in an impossible situation like this.
Lose 13 on the bad snap. That's more than you lose on a sack.
You put it in perspective there, Jim.
Burkhalter with time, comes to the near side. There's some contact. Abrams Drain was battling over there with the linebacker, Kai Gorowski. If you're Spanish Fort, that's the matchup you want.
And hey, I say that's just good coverage by that linebacker. He was on him like white on rice right there.
Used to love when Mark Schlereth used to tell the officials in NFL games, I'm going to hold on every play. I'm just telling, like, you can't call it every play, but I'm going to do it on every play. Big offensive lineman up front.
Got to do what I got to do.
Yeah, right.
And believe me, they do it.
Third forever. Third 31. This one intercepted nearly as it was dropped. I thought Bryson Cleveland was going to hold on. They're trying to get it up to Abrams Drain, and
yeah, a little bit behind the receiver there, right to the corner that's trailing, and basically all he had to do was kind of put the brakes on and make a little basket for the ball to come in there, but just couldn't hang on to it.
Good break on the ball there by Cleveland as well. He's played well in the first half.
He's been really good, and Burkhalter right there, you just saw him just try to aim it in there and not just let it go.
And you can't guide that football once it's away from your hands.
Miles will stand at about where the Toros need to get for the first down. He's all the way back to his own 40, and that one out of bounds, and we'll see where went across the far side. I'm going to throw a flag at the 40-yard line over there also, right in front of the Spanish Fort bench. And then that kick had gone out of bounds. I'm going to say it went out around the 45 maybe? Yep.
That's where he's marking it.
And the guy we've been talking about here, Bryson Cleveland, comes up.
A little gimpy.
Yeah, a little gimpy, maybe a cramp. He's all by himself back there. Now finally gets off the field.
All right, let's find out what the infraction was. It was thrown right at the end of the play. There was no contact in the play because the ball had gone out of bounds. Airland 42-0 over BC Rain. Looks like this one's going to be against. 15-yard penalty against the
And it looks like they're taking it from the spot of the infraction.
Yeah. Williamson leads LaFleur 10-0 at the half. Citronelle leads Leroy 12-10. Both Shores and Satsuma give right up the middle. Cutting it back is Bradley, and he's going to pick up 12, and he's going to have a first down, but there's a flag right back where he took the handoff, which
in the area of holding. Maybe Slair's out there playing.
Let's see.
Right there.
So you're going to
Had it on the center, I think.
call out Willie Molden there, Vic?
It might have been Molden, yeah. Right guard.
You know, the holding is so prevalent, you can't even tell the defensive coaches, hey, he's holding me. You know, don't let him hold you is what they tell us.
Get off.
Yeah. And you just develop that mentality. I'm not going to let them hold me. You chop their hand off if they begin to grab that jersey. Engage and disengage.
Battle. Gives it off to Bradley. Bradley, the middle to a 26. Let's get an injury update from Amanda.
Hey, thanks, Jim. Yeah, I wanted just to highlight that, Nicholas Dawson is actually on the field playing tonight. He actually missed his whole junior year last year due to a bad accident that he had. He had to get airlifted to USA, but it's good to see him on the field tonight. Jim, back to you.
That's a blessing.
Yep, absolutely. Driven back, nowhere to go here on 2nd and long.
A lot of times you're airlifted, you don't come out of there unless I'm talking about playing football.
That is quite a story right there.
That is. Nice nugget there by Amanda.
Whole different way, right?
Absolutely.
Thank
God for that.
3rd and 8 here for the Trojans. Trent Battle, junior quarterback. Low snap, picks it up, fires over the middle of the field, and one just short. That timing was off on that one, and didn't really have a great stance to throw it out of.
Feet all discombobulated after collecting it off the ground and off his back foot, just not able to get anything into that. Or it would have been a nice completion.
Yeah, I think so. Low snap led to a low throw.
Yep. It's a big stop for the Toro defense there. That penalty backed him up a little bit, but
they've got to get something going and maybe something on the board before halftime to feel a whole lot better about themselves. They've just kind of staggered around on offense.
high snap. Bonner. Nico Wilson able to get that one down. Takes a good bounce. Actually, it was Bonner who did punt that one that time. And at the 41, some good field position for the Toros. See Abrams drain, Ole Miss commit. Good crowd here tonight in Daphne. Again, that whole big section you see there empty is where the band is down in the end zone, getting ready to come on the field at halftime. And I also want to thank Alabama Power, a big part of our broadcast this year. Thanks to Alabama Power, and they got a bunch of trucks lined up, ready to go help wherever's needed, wherever Dorian comes in.
Yeah, I saw a convoy myself this afternoon.
Did you really?
I did.
Wow.
Certainly prayers out to our neighbors to the right.
So Patrick in motion. He'll take the handoff. Strung out, trying to get to the corner, and he's going to go the length of the field and maybe get a half a yard.
He broke one tackle there, and he still had 3 or 4 more to go there. Good pursuit by the Daphne defense, just stringing that thing along.
Yeah, and they're able to string it along too, Vic, and you can see as easily as I can, they just have a lot of people all around the line of scrimmage. They give you a lot of people you've got to block. That's going to give you some opportunities.
Down the field you talked about, right?
Right.
Give him one. Burkhalter has that one knocked down.
What a play.
Trying to go to the far side, and
that's a nice play by that young man right there.
Don't have an 87 on the Daphne roster.
Nothing but effort right there, Vic.
That's for sure.
Nothing but he was being blocked. He was engaged. The play was coming off quickly. He realized right away he had to do what he had to do, and that would just get his hands up, and he did.
And he did it. I apologize to his parents. We can't exploit the good job you guys have done with that young man.
Abram Turpin, I just see 6'4", plays on the offensive line usually, but that's he's one of the taller kids to see on the field. But
so who is that?
I don't know. I was just kind of trying to look for another. It's a tall lad out there on the far side, but a penalty here on Daphne is going to give Spanish Fort the first down up to the 45.
Yeah, that's not good. You make a good play within the whistles, and then something happened otherwise.
15 yard. Abrams Drain has that one thrown too far in front of him and can't pull it down.
miscommunication, too, because after that throw, you know, right away you think bad throw. But what Burkhalter was doing to Drain was saying you needed to take it upfield a little bit more.
Get some more depth, huh?
Right. So,
I think Drain saw that purple jerseys and he was like, I'm not going in there.
That might have been it.
I think 87 is a sophomore, James Quinley. I believe that's who that was who just made that play. 2nd and 10. Up the middle. Cass Taylor picks up 3.
Big Cash just get that one and just head straight upfield, getting all he can get. Setting up a 3rd down.
3rd and 7 coming up. Burkhalter on 3rd down, has time, comes over the middle in traffic. Abrams Drain can't hold on to it.
Again, just high and behind him. He tried to make a play on it, but just couldn't pull that one in.
Yeah. Jackson Manning, the linebacker, there in coverage.
Burkhalter just a half a tick off most of the night, and he almost knew as going into the play with the down and distance that it was going to be something for Drain, and it was. And
why not?
Just missed him.
Q Miles back at his own 12. Angle kick to the far side will bounce and dangerously. Miles grabs that one but keeps it from going behind him for any worse field position. But a 33-yard punt there for Daphne. Synovus has partnered with Feeding the Gulf Coast and Friday Night Rivals to raise awareness for food insecurity that plagues 1 of 4 kids in South Alabama. Each week's Rivals team is asked to collect food, peanut butter and jelly all throughout the week. Alabama 9th in the percentage of households affected by hunger. Last year, Feeding the Gulf Coast provided weekend meals to over 3,000 children at 59 local schools, and we're raising money, $250 every week, to one of the 2 teams that helps take on childhood hunger this week. And then at the end of the year, one team's going to get $1,250. Battle hangs that one to the near side. And Johnson again. Johnson up to the 25-yard line. Pretty good for a first down.
Nice arm by Battle.
That's by the thing, yeah. Coach King there, he's got some confidence in his quarterback to throw that thing all the way from the far hash mark to the other side.
You love it. It's a pick 6.
Exactly. So that speaks volumes there of what they think of their quarterback.
1st and 10 for Battle and the Trojans. Quickly to the near side. That one broken up. Hey, we got a Hey Guys email from Barry Giles, and they're watching from Idaho. Both their children graduated from Daphne and then moved to Caldwell, Idaho 3 years ago, and they're glad to be watching this rivalry game on the internet and checking it out in Idaho. That's our first check-in from Idaho.
I think it is, yeah.
I'm going to have me a baked potato this weekend.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that'll be our last.
Up the middle. And it'll be good for the first down as Bradley sticks his nose right up in there to get the extra yard, and he's got the first down.
Oh, nice run by
sophomore, yeah.
That misdirection there, trapping back to the backside. It's being real good to him, and he finds the hole and cuts it upfield, north and south. Kicks sticks and get a first down.
His legs were still churning when he was in the air.
So think about this. Daphne's going to get the ball back to start the 3rd quarter as well. Quickly out on the far side. He's right back off to Miles, and Miles dancing to the 40. I think Daphne will take a timeout here. You saw the impressive numbers so far there for Trent Battle. Yeah, Miles, one of his favorite targets, both last week and this week, and you can see why.
Miles having the better evening of the 2 David Morris QB country students.
Yeah, David Morris doing a good job with these quarterbacks around here. And I guess we need to give him a bit of credit that we're enjoying some good talent here. And, you know, I sent a text to him. I was sitting in my hotel room in Dallas, and ESPN mentions David Morris. And I'm like, wow. I sent him a text, and I said, man, you're worldwide.
He's become an industry leader.
Yes.
Take a look at what Battle's done so far here tonight. 9 of 11. Again, 15 of 22 last week, and had to come out of the game in the fourth quarter. He had cramps badly, but he's been drinking the sport drinks and eating sport beans all week. His dad's been just loading him up all week long to make sure he's good in the second half.
Yeah, good size, 6'1", 190, and you can see the athletic ability, and you can definitely this year see the arm too.
A great 7-on-7 summer, as we said. He's going to roll out, trying to get away from Carlos Johnson, buys some time. Now he's going to tuck this one and try to get to the sidelines, and does, and he'll stop it at the step out of bounds of the 44.
Continuing with David Morris, I'm telling you, I told him, and I really feel this way, it's a blessing to have somebody in our area to help these kids reach their potential. And, think about this. They're getting an opportunity to go on to the next level and get their college schooling paid for. And part of that is, David Morris pouring into him all the wisdom he has to help these kids out. So it's a great, great thing that I think David Morris is doing. And then for us to come out here on Friday nights and enjoy it.
Yep, you're right.
Bolden hops up there. Hopefully he's okay. And it's not just a guy. It's got to be the right guy to do that. It's got to be the right guy.
And he is that.
No question about it. That's what's made him so successful. And he's just great at all aspects, not just the physical, the part, expectations, everything. It's a whole great mindset that he brings
and
to
he
that
turned
quarterback training.
A Duke quarterback into a first-round pick, right? That no one was expecting, right?
Top 10 pick.
Yes, right? Top 10.
Yeah, that's the Giants quarterback was one of David's guys. Have been at some of David's workouts where he has Jack West, who's now at Stanford, and Jake Fromm at Georgia on the field at the same time here in Mobile.
John Davis!
The backfield.
John Davis!
Battle. Blitz coming from the linebacker, puts it up the near side. It's nearly intercepted. Good work by Darius Johnson to get over there and knock that one.
Yeah, Darius did a good job. He was playing above the rim himself there. I thought he was going to intercept it, but probably would have came down out of bounds.
Yes, Skylar Smith over there with the coverage. A little delayed blitz. And that linebacker there brings up fourth down with 26 seconds to go, right? 4th and 2. And
Skylar doing what a free safety's supposed to do, just lurk back there and go sideline to sideline.
Send out the punt team here just to play clock down to 3, and they did not get it off.
Did he get the timeout? I heard the coaches in the next room screaming it.
Well, it was way past the clock.
Well, with the play clock, with the game clock being what it is, I think that's just pretty much academic if they could just get this kick off and cover it with the dangerous drain.
I'd say, you gotta probably gonna try to get this one out of bounds and not in the hands of Abram Drain. He booms it over his head. Great kick there by Bonner. Drain goes back with one hand, tries to fall on it, and the ball's loose.
Tell you what, Drain's confident in his ability, right?
Yeah, confidence is fine when you catch it.
46
I think if I had his ability, too, I'd be overconfident as well.
One hand, that's now in vogue, and that's...
Yes.
I don't think that's a good thing. And I don't think that Ben Blackman thinks it's a good thing right now.
Right, but how about the kick? Bonner just boomed it over his head.
Yeah, great kick. But again, if you're going to go back and get it, you better use...
Two hands on it, huh?
Yeah, God gave you two.
Maximize it, huh?
Yeah.
Ben Blackman.
Perhaps a bit overconfident there in Drain, huh?
Looks like they're just going to maybe take a knee here to wind this one out. Blackman doesn't have his headset on or anything here with 17 seconds left, backed up deep. And that's what they'll do indeed. Ben Blackman has seen enough of this first half.
Well, not a disastrous first half. You can definitely go in and try to figure some things out. They're only down 14, but they certainly offensively did not execute well at all.
We'll wait here as Amanda is down there with Coach King. Amanda.
All right, thanks, Jim. I'm here with Coach King. Now, you guys are up 14 here in this game. What do you think is the reason that you guys have been doing so well in this first half?
Right now our guys are executing right now. So, again, we just got to keep pushing. Stay in the game, make sure that we stay focused. No stupid penalties. We got kind of chippy there back and forth, so let's make sure we play our game and continue doing what we're doing.
Now, although you guys are up right now and you want to continue to get, some scores on the board, what is the formula that you think, you guys need to work on during this half in order to keep winning?
Again, just make sure we execute, make sure we don't have dumb penalties. I think the guys are doing well. The guys are playing up front. The offensive defensive line are playing well. So, again, we can continue doing what we're doing. We know they're going to go back and readjust. So that's all we got to do, continue playing the way we're playing.
All right, Coach, you're playing a good game. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
All right. Jim, back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. As halftime here, 14-0, Daphne with the lead over Spanish Fort. We'll come back and give you our halftime entertainment here. Daphne on top. Friday Night Rivals brought to you by Andy Citron Injury Attorneys.
Say that 3 times fast.
Oh, well, I couldn't get it out once, but... Daphne Trojans on top by a score of 14-0 here at halftime on our Friday Night Rivals, as presented by our friend Andy Citron, his injury attorneys. And it's been a Trent Battle show so far, Dan Brennan.
Boy, he's looked good. He was a young sophomore when we first saw him last year, kind of thrown into the job. Now he looks like he knows the job.
We talk about more than football here each Friday night. We talk about all the great education taking place with our schools that we feature. And tonight, Amanda is down on the sideline to tell us more about that.
Yes, we have some Spanish Fort Toros spirit right now. I am with Principal Brian Williamson and teacher Rachel Jablonski, who recently became a teacher. She actually was a bookkeeper, so now she's a math teacher. So how exciting does that feel?
It's super exciting. I get to see the school through a whole new perspective.
You do. And you know what? Another thing I heard from the guy over here is that the school is changing its perspective a little bit because you guys are getting some new classrooms. So talk about the new construction happening right now.
Yeah, we've got a lot of new construction. We've got a new gym going up, and we've got a 24 classroom wing. We currently have 11 teachers that either float classrooms or in portables, and so it'll be nice to have them all in their own classroom. Our gym, we did a pep rally the last week, and it was just so packed, and we had kids standing on the floor, and so it's going to be great to be able to have everybody a seat, and so we're really excited about that.
Well, that sounds exciting. And I want to also touch on the Power Hour that I've been hearing. It's an exciting hour happening at Spanish Fort. So talk to us a little bit about that.
It's awesome. It gives students time to hang out with their friends, but also do remediation if they need tutoring. It also gives us teachers time to do professional learning committees. And so we get to spend time really talking together and strategizing together about how we're going to grow our school.
Now, Principal Williams, tell them about my favorite part that has to do with lunch.
So we do offer off-campus lunch to students, and so as long as they have, good grades, as long as they're out of trouble and things like that, we try to reward them by allowing them to go off-campus and go wherever they want. They've got the hour. They have to be back on time, but they have the hour to go and do as they please.
Oh, man, I wish I could drive off campus to get lunch. That's an awesome thing that they can do. Thank you both for, telling us a little bit more about Spanish Fort, and we wishing you guys good luck on tonight's game.
Thank you.
Jim, back to you.
All right, thanks, Amanda. 50-cent tostadas I used to be able to go off campus for in high school and get those for lunch. That was my big lunch thing.
You couldn't get away from a school quick enough, could you? You're anything like me.
They didn't really want me to come back either. Player of the week. Each week we give you 3 nominees, then we vote on it. Brought to you by Herc Reynolds. And last week, McGill Tulin with a big defensive game. Braden Turner, the sophomore there with the interception. That McGill defense, Ernest Hill kind of said, I like my team. And we kind of knew that this was going to be what was going to be a big part of it was that defense, Dan Brennan.
Yeah, and I was also tipped off by a number of McGill people, including Coach Hill himself, that Turner, just a sophomore, they identify these guys early on. And he said, this guy has got a chance to really be a great cornerback. And there you go, a sophomore on a grade 7A team, and turns out to be the player of the game. It might have been his first start as a high school football player.
Yep, and really kind of that game started getting away from Spanish Fort at that point, and McGill went on to roll 37-7. We'll have 3 players of the game. Well, we'll have Trent Battle and 2 others to nominate for player of the game tonight, as we already know that. Brought to you by friends at Herc Rental, and you can go to utv44.com and vote, and we will have tonight's player of the game next week at halftime. As it's halftime here, it's 14-0. Daphne has the lead over Spanish Fort. We just heard about some of the great education things going on with the Spanish Fort Toros, and also Daphne High School here. Let's find out what they've got going on our Educator Spotlight, brought to you by Coastal Alabama Community College. Back down to Amanda.
All right, now I have some Trojan spirit here. I am with a professor, a teacher here, and that's Griffin Hood here. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm with swimmer Trey Shields. Trey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Now, tell me a little bit about the energy. You're here, so for everybody that's at home watching, talk about the energy right now.
Oh, it's great. Team's doing great. It's a great vibe out here. Everyone's excited. It's just good to be here.
Nice. Now, I also want to highlight that Mr. Hood just won a Nappy Award for Teacher of the Year. How exciting is that? What are some cool things happening in the theater department?
We're going to do a fall show, Night of the Living Dead, towards the middle of November. We're also going to do a spring show sometime probably in March or April. And then we also have a film department that we're trying to get going with a film competition hopefully coming up in the spring as well.
Now, that's pretty exciting. Now, I have to take it back to, seniors here. The seniors dominate on campus. If you didn't know, now you know. So let's talk about some stuff happening this senior year for you.
Coming up in about 2 weeks, our swim season starts. So I'm really excited for that. We have a strong team. Looking forward to state. We have a possibility of winning, so excited for that.
All right, so you guys are doing some good things over here. Some really exciting things happening on campus.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you guys so much. Jim, back to you.
All right, thanks, Amanda. And our Educator Spotlight brought to you by Coastal Alabama Community College. And we're going to hear more about Trey Shells, the swimmer, a little bit later on in the broadcast as well. 14-0, our score. Daphne on top of Spanish Fort is we're about 10 minutes away from kicking off quarter number 3 right here on Friday Night Rivals. See our score there on Friday Night Rivals. Big crowd in front of us from Daphne, and as we've been telling you about, Synovus has partnered up with Feeding the Gulf Coast, and peanut butter and jelly is what we've been collecting, each team in a battle here, and Amanda's going to tell us who won this week by collecting the most peanut butter and jelly and what they're going to be able to do with it. Amanda?
John and Steven from Synovus Bank, and Strelitzia, who is representing Feeding the Gulf Coast for both Daphne High School and Daphne Middle School. And we have a special announcement, don't we, guys? You guys won today. You won from this week. How excited does it feel?
It's great. We worked really hard. We got our community involved. We did a lot of social media marketing, and to know that we were able to help so many people and pay it forward, it's a great feeling.
Now, Mrs. King, I have to ask, what was the strategy? Because you guys raised over 570 pounds of PB&J.
Yes. Well, we had our boys and our coaches go to all of our schools. We asked for donations from the community and the churches, and just Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram was our friend this time.
Yes, and now I know that the 570 pounds that you guys collected actually will feed over 500 individuals around the Gulf Coast. What does that mean to you personally?
That means a lot. We work a lot with Feeding the Gulf Coast. We volunteer our time with our athletes because we want to make sure that all of our children are fed summer, fall, all throughout the year. So it's a great feeling to know we were able to do this too during the season.
Yes, and it's a great, great cause. And you know what? Without further ado, I'd let John present you with your plaque. And also, Stephen has your check. Yay, congratulations again to Daphne. All right, Jim, back to you.
All right, thanks, Amanda, and thanks, Daphne, for collecting all that peanut butter and jelly. Going to be put to good use. I know, Dan, we love to see highlights of football, no matter what level it's at. And our friends at Sinclair, they get to capture a lot of highlights from all across the country, and we get to see it each Friday night.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this past week.
Martelacki from the 30-yard line swings it outside. Paddock, big man, and you can barely bring him down. Did he get there? Oh man!
Man, oh man!
It's going to be not. Oh, look at this!
Power bomb. There we go. Number 2.
Get him out of here!
And the crowd is going crazy. Somebody tackle him. There he is. That's Savage Sam or something like that.
Coming back in the backfield. Coming to the near side. Nearly picked off, and it is picked off up the near side. Stepping in front of the pass. All the way across the 50. Down the sidelines. Braden Turner.
Receivers to the wide side and one to the short side. They come short side. Caught by Xavier Kinlaw, and he's got some running room at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown on the final play of the first quarter.
3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Crawford looks pressured, rolls right, spin move. Still looking to throw, gets rid of it. You got to be kidding me. Like Justin Timberlake. Take a look.
No, this isn't fair. You ought to give him more than 33 because he threw this ball 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage around the 40-yard line and watch it on a rope, off balance. You're not supposed to be able to do that. That's not fair.
That was a little bit like David Palmer, was it not?
All right, there we get a good look at action going on all across the country, and with a dog highlight in there as well. I love the dogs. It's halftime, 14-0, Daphne on top. We'll come back quickly and get you ready for the second half right here on Andy Citron Injury Attorneys Friday Night Rivals. Halftime score here in Daphne's 6A Region 1 matchup. Daphne on top 14-0. There was a lot of moving around the field by the offensive on long drives and not scoring early, but then Daphne seemed to get it going a little bit, and of course powered by their junior quarterback, Dan Brennan.
Yeah, Trey, Battles had a very good first half. I think we expected that here and what we heard about him coming in, too.
Yeah, and you know what Kenny said, I think if they just, cut out the penalties and stop shooting themselves in the foot, they could, really take over control of this game. But Spanish Fort, they're not used to being behind, and we're not used to seeing them behind, so I'm sure they're going to come out with a better plan, make some adjustments, and play really hard the second half.
Take a look here as Trent Battle able to go and find Hugh Miles. This is the first touchdown of the night. Put Daphne on top by a score of 7-0, and then after a big 66-yard scamper up the sideline, Battle goes in for the touchdown there, and that put Daphne on top 14-0. That's where they're at right now. 9-12 for 135 yards through the air. Look at the Spanish Fort, just 3 of 13 through the air for 20 yards. 84 yards in total offense compared to 301 on the other side. And
yeah, one team is executing and one team obviously is not. And you're right about Trent Battle. You look at the highlights, well, they were both him. and you made the remark when we were talking about the game, the player of the game. Well, it'll be Trent Battle and some other guys. And pretty good forecast.
Trent Battle and Trent Battle.
Well, yes.
So the Spanish Fort really not able to get much going offensively, and Daphne on top 14-0. They're going to get the ball to start the second half here. And
well, it looks like the formula for Spanish Fort is Drain, and they recognize that, and they're trying to maximize his touches as well. But he's still got to get some support from his defense, and he's got to get some support from his front.
Mm-hmm.
So ready to start this one here.
I think they'd also be happy if their conventional offense with Burkhalter in the shotgun at quarterback got some traction going.
Get a little bit of rhythm.
Yeah.
They have not had.
Hasn't happened yet.
No, they've had that. They've had some issues with the snaps and.
Yeah, other than the snap, I guess we got to credit that man in the screen right there, Coach King. He looks like he's made the bigger jump between game 1 and game 2 thus far in this first half.
Yeah, and Daphne had the ball really run right at him last week by Theodore. Kirsten Rogers ran for 200 yards himself, and
yeah, that's the talk of everybody. In fact, I was visiting with Mr. King, Kenny's dad, and that was the first thing he said. Last week, they got the ball shoved down their throat. And I told him you guys mentioned that, and he says Coach King has really worked hard this week to correct that, and looks like they've done it.
Well, you got to do it with the same kids, though, Jim.
Yeah, watch out for maybe a little pooch kick here, as this one is just...
Well, it's pooched. This center field.
Yeah, right to the middle of the field. Ball came loose at the end of that.
Thought it did.
So Spanish Fort just trying to kind of send that one up in the air. Tucker Wilson, 95 KSJ fame, right?
95 KSJ fan and fame because Tucker is a young musician as well. We had him in our studio when he's probably in the 6th grade.
He was the kicker who poops that one up there. What did Coach Blackman have to say, Amanda?
All right, I spoke to Coach Blackman, and he said the same exact words that you guys said up there, that they are, shooting themselves in the foot. They got to stop making bad mistakes. They need to run the football offensively and defensively make some tackles. So, right now, they have their head in the game. They're going to get back. So that's all he had to say, guys. Jim, back to you.
But I can imagine Ben being a few words coming out after halftime there.
His speech wasn't that short.
Bradley trying to get to the edge, now cuts it back to the middle, and he's going to be enough for a first down up to the 48-yard line.
Well, Bradley with the quick, decisive feet, making the decisive cuts there. Here he goes, nothing inside. I'll try the outside door, and then I'll stay in bounds to pick up an extra 6 or 7. Good enough to kick the sticks. First down.
Malik McLean up to split out to what will be the top of your screen. Keep your eye on him. 6'6". He's got a couple of receptions here tonight. King pitches it back. Now in the reverse is Miles. Miles got a block. Now he's going to go back the other side. Watch out if he's able to turn the corner. Hugh Miles trying to get his blockers in front of him, and up the sideline he goes, and he's knocked out of bounds. Wow.
Remember back was it 2010? Were you thinking the same thing?
Yep.
Yeah, Glenn Vickery's team was so entertaining and offensively that I called them the Globetrotters. Yep. It's like they would try anything, and then it would succeed. And this team has a little bit of that in them, don't they? And I think a lot of it is that Battle is so settled now, and at quarterback, they can trust him to do the whole playbook.
Zach Golson, the offensive coordinator, drawing that one up to pick up 26. Daphne driving again. Hodge. Someone lost a helmet.
Yeah, nice spin move there to get another 6 or 7 yards there.
Yeah, Hodge didn't, as we said, didn't carry the ball last week. He's come on and got a handful of them here so far tonight.
Yeah, he's hungry. Fresh legs.
His losses at linebacker, I think, are hurting Spanish Fort too, Jim. I mean, they had a tough week injury-wise in week 1, and not to make excuses, but these are facts. You lose 2 starters on that defense after your first game. That doesn't help you.
Second and short here for the Trojans. Battle gives it off a little delay behind the line of scrimmage, and Bradley's going to have the first down and took a big wallop there at the end of it. It was Carlos Johnson coming down on him.
I like that little delay there, a la my guy from Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
He just changed the way the running back position is doing that. He just stutters there to set up his blocks, and look at big man just clear it out right there.
Yep.
Big Jacob Amici.
Yep. Dawson Estes came up to make the stop.
That offensive line doing a really nice job much of the night, especially right now. They're just keeping Spanish Fort at bay, no penetration, giving these backs a chance to just kind of dice their way in and up.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell was the name I was trying to think of.
Battle cuts it back at the 5. Will be pushed out of bounds there. Good to see Brooks Bueller, who left the game early in the first half, is back out there at left guard for the Daphne Trojans.
Yes, very good. We were concerned about how that injury looked.
So it may have been just a cramp, huh?
Yep.
2nd and 5 here from the 7. Battle, same play, scored a touchdown on in the first half. And is he
same
in?
result.
He's got another one. Same delayed response from the officials.
Yes.
And he's in for the score.
Yeah, you can just kind of run a replay, and that's the same play. He just hesitates out there. He gets that defender on an island out there where he has to make a decision right here, and he just makes him sit on his butt right there. It makes the defender just slip down. So you're right, guys. This guy's playing, Trent Ballard, he's playing with a lot of confidence and understanding of the offense and knowing how to make it run.
He's worlds away from what we saw him last year, but
yeah, if you remember, the starting quarterback last year for Daphne got injured the last practice before the first game, so Battle was thrown right into it. But how about this?
Shocking.
People scratching their head looking at this score right now. 21-0, Daphne on top early in the third quarter. glad the Daphne student section has gone away from all the white paint. It cost me a shirt last year. One walk through the crowd, and that was it. Never got the uniform back.
Jim, you should have just celebrated with him.
Well, I kind of thought maybe I was, but that paint does not come off. 6 plays, 63 yards, just over 2.5 minutes to come out here for Daphne to extend their lead to 21-0 over Spanish Fort. And it's gut check time on the far side for the Toros right now.
It is. Absolutely.
Metal Roofing Center's raised the roof cam there. Abrams drain. Driven back at the 15.
Yeah, this Daphne team's enthused there. And got to cut that chippiness out and just play till the whistle blow. But they are jacked up right now. But if there's anybody that can answer a gut check, it's this group from Spanish Fort and Coach Blackman.
Let's see what they try to do offensively, too. But just kind of keep an eye on what you see the strategies being, because, again, they've kind of stalled in their normal formations with Big Jackson Burkhalter, who's a really talented guy at quarterback. But they just have been a step off, a step behind, a throw behind.
A center mishap from here and there, or snap, I should say.
Right. If they put it all on drain, that'd be a lot.
And that's what they'll do to start this drive, and kicks it off to Morris. And the sophomore up to the 27-yard line.
You know, these are the same kids that gave up 280-some yards to Theodore a week ago on the ground. They're playing at a different level and tempo tonight for sure. This is not Bobcat Stadium in Theodore, Alabama. They're home tonight on TV against their rival.
Well, credit Coach King for correcting all those things and mishaps from last week.
Drain going to keep this one, and he's going to get wrestled down by Ricky Hankins.
Yeah, that's one of those things right there. You don't want to see Drain, even though it's on his shoulders for a minute. We don't want to see him pressing. And right there, it might have been wise to just hand that thing off.
Just mentioned Theodore. Dan Theodore on top of Baker, 26-12. Baker playing their first game of the year. Baldwin County, who we'll see next week, up big over Gulf Shores.
Baldwin County's got that star quarterback now.
Park Crossing leading St. Paul's 14-12. Drain looking to throw, scrambles out on the far side. Now he's going to pull it down. He sees the sticks and steps out of bounds there as Hamilton Baker was closing in.
Hey, let's go, D!
Yeah, looks like he's going to go this entire series with Drain at the quarterback position, see if they can get a quick score, I guess.
Well, he's, you know, you would love for him to be able to make a quick play on the outside as well, catching the pass, because he's so dangerous there.
Yeah.
But
I think when you see Burkhalter back at quarterback, I have little doubt that they're going to try and get it Burkhalter to Drain.
Sure. Purple jerseys know that too, right?
Yep.
Up the middle. Morris blasts ahead. He'll pick up the first down here for the Toros. And again, Hankins in there on the tackle.
I'll tell you, Morris runs hard. He ran hard last week in a loss to McGill, and he gives you what he's got.
73 yards last week. And not much this time.
Yeah, and not giving up that yardage up the middle like last week.
Devery Smith there to make the stop for the Trojans. Again, Daphne next week at Saraland, number one team in 6A. And 2nd and 8. Drain gives it off. Morris to the 46-yard line. Gorowski there wrapping them up.
He's running that RPO offense.
Here's what the Daphne Trojans have coming up. At Saraland, BC Rain, then they get that open date. Then they got their big rival here. And they got a tough one up at Baldwin County and Robertsdale Gulf Shores. And how about those two to close it out? St. Paul's and Blunt. No easy sledding here in 6A, but a tough first 3 weeks. Really going to have this team be battle tested. And on 3rd down, Abrams Drain goes on a hard count. Looks like he pulled Daphne across for the.
It's not going. I don't think it's going to be enough for the first down, but may make it short, 3rd and short. Much more manageable. Well, they're discussing it. May not be as clear-cut as we think. Neither team stepping backwards or forward. Okay, here we go.
5 yards. Results in the first down.
Oh, it was enough for the first down.
All right, Vic.
Very generous, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Because we had it at 3rd and 7, didn't we?
That 3rd and looked like a long 5. But
okay.
I think it was enough to give them a fresh set of downs.
Yeah.
We're down to 6.5 there.
Some offsides are a long,
that young man now take
5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Coach Blackman will take it any way he can get it right now.
Morris, wow. Morris stood up and shut down there by Jackson Manning, junior linebacker. You heard it.
Yes, that's football. Right
head
there.
Up on the tackle, Vic Lockett.
Yes.
His head up.
Step in that hole and deliver a blow. Tell you what, well, that was fantastic by that young man right there.
Not even a starter.
No, Jackson Manning.
Hey, fantastic work by Bane Yakai and the camera down there on the sidelines to get you that shot as well.
He's always good.
Oh, he's spectacular. He's a starter.
Yes.
He's always he's
not gifted in the height, but I tell you what, he can do this deal.
I'm not sure that affects his ability to be one of the best shooters in the country, is how one person described him to me as. Just drained on the far side. It's going to bring up 3rd and long here for the Toros, who really do have a talented crew. Show up here every Friday. It's hot early in the year, and they get here early. They're here way after we leave. Our UTB 44 Friday night rivals. They're our crew here. It takes a lot to get this thing set up, and they do a great job.
Just show up and make it happen.
Yep. So we'll take a timeout. Halfway through quarter number 3, Daphne on top 21-0 over their rivals from Spanish Fort. Friday Night Rivals brought to you by our friend Andy Citron Injury Attorneys and presented by Alabama Power. Great night here on the Eastern Shore. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Amanda Booz down on the sideline, David Sharp, our statistician, Jared Kihas, and his entire crew here tonight on a great Friday night. Our Metal Roofing Center raised the roof cam. A great night for high school football tonight.
By the way, Amanda Booz has had a spectacular rookie season so far.
She's on point, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Great to have her on the sidelines. Sent a text to her during the game last week. It was actually to Amanda, the lovely woman who cuts my hair. And she appreciated the compliment, but she said, I don't think that was me. As Drain is traced back with Chase Brack, Quinley there.
Wow.
Yeah. Tell you what, things are going their way defensively. Nothing like last week. Yeah, his helmet came off there.
He's having a game right there. Wow. Just gets off the block. Does more than turn the play in. He makes a violent tackle. That kid's playing tonight.
Absolutely.
Just a sophomore. Yeah, another punt here. Brady Phillips. And
looks like they may have too many men on the field defensively. Yep, legal substitution is the signal.
Yep, 12.
You can have success with one extra.
So
if the Zebras allow.
They rarely do.
They rarely do.
You don't see that one get by them very often.
So we'll try this one again. A few miles back just inside his 20 to receive this one from Phillips. Angles it toward the sideline. Takes a good Spanish Fort roll inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line. So
Go back them up behind the 15.
Talk about our trivia questions. Spanish Fort 0-1 tonight, and 0-1 coming into tonight. 0-2 only one time in the school's history. When was that?
Season number 1, and I'm just going to throw out a guess here. I'm in between 05 and 06, and I think probably the school started early, but how about 06?
Dan Brennan says 2006.
2006, all right.
Look at that, Dan Brennan.
The Wiz. Tell him what he wins, Jim.
I remember when. Thank you for that.
We do not allow to gamble on this stuff, Big Clock. There's no.
Not a gamble, you know, a
prize.
A prize, yes. He got it right, so maybe he'll get a fishing trip with you, maybe.
That would be.
How about that?
I'd love to have it. Bradley wrapped up in the background.
Dan's just
backfield.
thinking, load me up on the Dramamine when we go out, right?
Yeah, no doubt about that. Big play inside, big stop, and now you got the flag. And
maybe a handful of face mask here.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yep.
Inadvertently.
Wow.
He immediately turned it loose.
Finally, you get a linebacker more, gets penetration, gets the stop.
Personal foul. Face mask against the defense.
Not to be.
15-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Let's see how much Kenny King keeps it on the ground here with this 3-touchdown lead.
Well, you know how those defensive coaches are.
Bradley. Get around the corner and nothing there. Wilson there and a host of other Toros.
Those defensive coaches, I forgot the saying, but when you put the ball in the air, they said 3 or 4 things bad can happen.
There are 3 things can happen, and 2 of them aren't good. Is that what it is?
Bad, yeah.
Yes. I'm sure Kenny King, that's ringing in his ear.
There's that one that's really good, Big
Yeah, I know you offensive fans. Y'all love to see the balls in the air. Wow.
Bradley runs.
Collision
right
there.
Yeah. Colby Nolan. It's going to bring up 3rd down here for Daphne.
It was refreshing talking to Carlos Johnson, the big, excellent defensive lineman for Spanish Fort. How you're right. He was just so excited to be a South Alabama Jag commitment.
Yep.
And, some would say, well, you have a chance to go further away from home. He was having none of it. He loved
the staff
and
the environment.
Right.
Yeah.
He was selling it, wasn't he?
Yep. It was good to hear. And if that's what he's feeling, he's no reason to try to go look anywhere else. Don't solve a problem you don't have. Near side battle, that one incomplete.
Looks like they're going to have to punt it out of there.
I've not seen a lot of punting from Daphne here tonight, so Spanish Fort.
Well, this would certainly be the prudent thing to do right here, backed up and just nursing a 21-point lead.
He drains a guy who can kind of turn the game around. You just don't feel great energy from the Toros right now.
Yeah, and it just seems to have a lot to do with the execution.
Mm-hmm.
And Daphne can be a handful to block offensively.
Oh, wow. High snap. Bonner, a good job to get it off. And
he had the fair catch this snap.
Rugby styled it and got it. And
kid's had a good game.
Yep, really has. And a penalty on the sideline here as Xavier Love was all the way in the Daphne bench area. We'll find out what this is after we tell you about Vic's friends. Greer's another part of high school football.
Absolutely. I was in there the other day and bought about 6 cases of water. Not in hurricane preparation, just trying to get healthy like you guys.
You're a big guy, Vic Lock. Takes a lot to keep you hydrated. Greer's since 1916, and also Crane Works. Bringing you our Hey Guys promo every week. Thanks for them. To them joining us here on Friday Night Rivals. As we get the penalty sorted out here.
And we'll get a verdict here.
No part of your shoes.
Oh.
I don't think that was the flag though, because the flag was thrown way over on this sideline.
There was one in the middle of the field too.
Oh,
though.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Okay.
You can get them in between the whistle and it'll be academic.
I think maybe the official was throwing the flag over here because Xavier Luggett was out of bounds and just marking that he couldn't come back in to be the first one to. Usually see it with a hat. Okay, 2 penalties that offset. So, all that. Burkhalter back in at quarterback. Gives it off to Morris. Up the right side.
And he go back to his conventional offense and still I guarantee you they're going to want to try to get it in number one's hand.
I agree. They haven't taken many shots downfield tonight.
Taken a few, but you're right, not many. And he's the guy. He's the X factor offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how they try to utilize him here. He's getting more one-on-one opportunities than he did a week ago.
Yep. 2nd and 6. Morris, sophomore, trying to bounce it to the outside, and he will, and he's going to have a Spanish Fort first down.
Nice run there.
It was clogged up. Chips off tackle and bounced it to the outside.
Yeah, good footwork by that back there. Find some daylight right there. Make one miss, and take it out inside, then outside.
Yeah, he had no choice again because Daphne likes to pressure you, and they love to get on that side of the line.
Let's go, King!
Well, they've had success with the penetration tonight, so no need to change it.
Away from Jason Gibbons there, and first down. Right back to Morris and right up the middle, and Morris is going to pick up 8 more here on first down.
And another flag.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to have to settle these guys down on these extracurriculars. I hope this one is not one. I hope this is more of an effort penalty.
It's going against Daphne.
Penalties are piling up. Kind of
maybe a face mask.
Fracturing any kind of momentum.
Sportsman like, oh, that 15. Tack it on to the end of the run.
Yeah, you don't want to help Spanish Fort get back in the football game if you're pulling for Daphne, and that's the sort of thing that helps them and gives them that assist.
Or if you're playing for Daphne.
That's correct.
You know?
Moves it all the way to the 21-yard line here for the Toros. Burkhalter gives it again. Morris pushing ahead.
Morris doing all he can, dealing with that 10-man line of scrimmage by Daphne. Only one's not in the picture is the corner out there on the receiver.
Look at Spanish Fort's schedule there. Rolling down the schedule, you see big region games coming up. St. Paul's, Baldwin County, Blount, Gulf Shores, and Saraland to close things out.
Oh, backloaded, huh?
Yep.
I say that with McGill and Daphne starting the year, so
yep,
not much of it's easy.
A long time between next home games as well. Burkhalter looking, wants the corner, and just overthrew it. He was trying to get it to Abrams Drain, who did a good job on the hurdle of the signage there. Good coverage.
Yeah, they were step for step. It would have been a good catch and a good throw to execute that touchdown.
Again, one-on-one, though. He's got more of those opportunities this week against a defense like Daphne High School than McGill was giving him the whole evening.
Yep. Well, apparently Kenny King's trusting his personnel to hold him down, and so far they've been up to the task.
3rd and 6. Here for the Toros.
Perhaps this is 2-down territory, guys?
I would think so, yeah.
The Toros closing in on 7 quarters this year with just 7 points. Morris on the right side. He's inside the 10, and he's in for a touchdown.
Yeah, only needed 1 down.
Not shocked at all by the call there, Jim. They were running it pretty well, and it being 2-down territory, they've had a lot more success running the football than throwing it. And
well, that's just good coaching. The game spread out in terms of the score, but still sticking to the plans that's going to work for you.
And Morris has done a nice job.
He has.
2 weeks in a row.
Jackson Floyd on for the PAT. Brady Wiggins will hold. Carson Peak to snap. Ben Blackman all the way out on the field.
He didn't like something, did he?
Sure.
I don't see anything as if they're going to change.
The clock was still running. That was possibly what had the ire of Coach Blackman.
that puts him on the board and squarely in the football game to me, too, within striking distance for sure.
21-7 with a minute and a half to go in the third.
Whole quarter to work.
Morris with his first touchdown of the season and the first one tonight for the Toros. Spanish Fort on the scoreboard here with a minute 37 to go in the third. 21-7 our score, and see if this helps a little life here into the Toros. And again, we see Tucker Wilson on the kick. I don't know if I want to get in a barb trading contest with this young man, because he's got a lot of game. When you talk a little smack, a little fun pregame,
he's awesome.
He's got a lot of talent there.
Yeah,
so.
he's a great young guy. He does have a whole lot of talent, and little guy, but look at him out here competing and kicking, especially. There you go. That's what he does.
Comes the pooch to the near side, and it's dropped momentarily by Daphne, and they'll have good field position at right about the 35-yard line. Now if you're Kenny King, you don't want to be too conservative, and you don't want to tense up. You got to just keep going like things were for the Trojans. That's what you want to see happen here.
Yeah, keep everything in front of you. Don't give up the big play. Obviously, you'd like the 3-and-out right here, get the ball right back. But the main thing is you avoid catastrophe. You've got another quarter to go.
Yep.
And some change.
We've seen some wonky finishes in this game.
Wonky, boy, I tell you what, that's out of the Northeast.
We've seen some at this stadium.
Yep. Battle. Cuts it right back to the inside and right into the Toro den.
Yeah, if I was King, I'd try to keep it on the ground and see if I can sneak into the fourth quarter with this 2-touchdown lead.
Good look at Trent Battle.
Right now, it's in Trent we trust. Because he's done everything you can do to this point. They've got the lead by 14.
Leads this one down the middle of the field. Incomplete. Good coverage over there on the far side.
Yeah, he's lucky that one wasn't picked off. Just kind of in no man's land there.
Fawn Troy on the coverage. And third down. Now if you're the Toros, are thinking, all right, now we just got a touchdown. We get a 3-and-out here. Now let's get it back going here. There's Bradley. He's been a workhorse tonight. And just a sophomore back there. About 160 pounds. And third down and 5. Play clock. We're going to have to take a timeout here. I don't think they're going to get it. Are they going to get it off? They'll barely get it off. Battle zips it far side, able to get it to Johnson, and Johnson lunges after the catch, and he's going to have the first down.
Pretty close. They're usually generous to the offense. Yep, kick the sticks.
Johnson's had a nice game, huh?
But Battle put something on this one, too.
Yep. He's got kids who can catch it.
And got some moxie after the catch.
Yep, he talked about that in the pregame show.
He did.
He really likes his receivers, how they go up and get the ball for him.
Right, it wasn't just nice words from the quarterback saying the right stuff on TV, but because it turned out to be absolutely true.
Bradley. Much there. He also talked about he thought they had great week of practice and really thought the team was really going to grow from week 1. He said thought they learned a ton. Where they should be, where they shouldn't be. He kind of, this is what that quarterback expected tonight.
Yeah, and he was able to articulate it in a way where we believed him.
Yep.
And with a lot of confidence. And now,
like a politician.
Well, there you go again.
Here we go through 3.
He's got your vote, huh, Jim?
Fourth quarter, he does. 21-7. Daphne with the lead. Fourth quarter coming up here on Friday Night Rivals. Ready to start quarter number 4. Trent Battle leading the Daphne Trojans 21-7, 10 of 15 for 141 yards, 8 rushes for 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns tonight. He just converted a big third down there to Darius Johnson. 2nd and 5. Battle on the keeper. Wanted to cut it back inside. He's going to lose one.
Good decision by him that time not to put that football out there in peril with those two defenders playing quarterback to pitch.
Yeah, and good execution and effort by Spanish Fort defensively.
Absolutely.
A couple of plays earlier, Xavier Love did a great job keeping the play.
Right here, he's
inside.
trying to get one guy to commit to him, but nope, he played it perfectly. Actually, it's 3 guys out there. 3 on 2. Coach Blackman will take that every play.
Bradley out of the backfield takes the pass from Battle and gets right to midfield and then driven back.
Yeah, swing pass didn't work that time. They were all over it. And Spanish Fort is known to play disciplined defense. Those 2 plays back-to-back epitomizes what that program has been about.
4th down, so a good stop here by the Trojan defense. And I really like Bradley. Just a sophomore back there.
Yeah. Got a lot of fight in him. Quick feet.
Got enough men out there. The late substitution.
Bonner, line drop, end over end kick. Abrams Drain takes it. It gets dropped immediately and the ball comes loose.
He very confident in his abilities.
Trying to make a play. We'll see. Daphne
See if
says
he comes
they.
up with snake eyes on
Daphne
it.
says they have it, and they do.
Wow. Sometimes you can be overconfident in your abilities, but not cocky. Just believes he can make a play out of every single play.
Midnight Stewart.
And that is his real name, per Kenny King.
Got the turnover belt there. And let's watch Abrams Drain here. Takes it. Wow, he looked like he dropped it before the contact was there.
There's almost not much he could have done. The ball just came to him like magnetically. And
Couldn't peter that one, huh?
Man. No, because no telling how far it could have rolled, so I don't think it was a terrible decision. It just was a bad set of circumstances that turned out to be as bad as it could be.
Autumn Jordan, who used to be our red hat here on UTV 44, that's her son. And she's taking the year off because she wants to be able to go and watch him play, and you can see why. Big play starts on defense for the Trojans as well. And Bradley driven back there right up the middle is Ethan Hickey there to make the stop. That's a big change of events there.
Again, that young punter's had a good game. Very self-aware.
Yep.
There was a rush coming. He got it off quick, as quickly as he could. And
I nominate him for a player of the game.
He's been good.
All right. Wide open in the end zone and holding on for the touchdown.
Nice job by the big, tall guy to put the brakes on a bad pass and help his quarterback out, turn around and get it.
Malik McLean, big wingspan there, second touchdown tonight.
You got the wingspan, you're right.
Wow, what a change of events here.
Talk about some Alabama power. There's some power right there.
The track star hauls that one in.
To contorque his body, to spin around and get that ball, that's tough.
And it is 28-7, 2.5 into the fourth here on Friday Night Rivals. Big turnover, and they convert. Touchdown Trojans, and they're in the lead. Fumble on a punt return, on an attempted punt return, and right after that, a touchdown, Daphne.
Well, I think as far as the voting for player of the game, the polls are closed. They're not really. They haven't even opened yet, but Trent Battle, he's made some big plays. That was not a perfect throw, but he did make the play. He is the quarterback. They are up by 21 over their rivals, and in the opening region game, he's had a really nice night.
Well, a close second is that punter as well. He's definitely in the running.
He's been good.
Give it up for special teams being special.
Bonner. Kick off here but not quite as special. Goes out of bounds, and Spanish Fort will get it at the 35. Let's go back down to Amanda. Amanda.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, I wanted to highlight, we know this is a rival game and, both teams are competing tonight, but I wanted to also acknowledge that they're actually coming together. You can see gold throughout the entire stadium, and that's in support of childhood cancer. Now, unfortunately, Caroline Berry from Spanish Fort passed away last November from cancer, and, her mom came to Daphne's pep rally today to, just talk about her daughter's legacy and her fight for cancer, so I think that was a great cause, and it brings the schools together, which I think, is very important. Jim?
Great story, man, because Dan and I were looking over there and we're like, wow, is the Daphne student section kind of over where the Spanish Fort student section was? No, it's there in unity. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Really.
That really is awesome. Nice report, Amanda, and that's the kind of stuff we like to highlight, that
communities being together.
Yeah, and there's a lot more going on than just a football game here tonight.
So Ben Blackman says, no, we're going to make you kick it again because we want a chance to return this one. So they pooch it to the far side. A fair catch called for.
Nice
at the
job.
40. Yep. Right. So now time does begin to be a bit of concern for the
Yeah, we can say the
Toros.
proverbial number of possessions left in the game.
That's right. That's right.
And it's not the first quarter.
Faith Academy beats Bayside tonight 34-21.
You get that LaFleur final.
Bayside still wins for nicest campus.
Williamson 10, LaFleur 0 final.
Good win for Williamson Lions. Coulter dumps this one out of the backfield to Morris. Morris.
That's effort right there.
Going to get the first down as he gets across midfield there.
Avoiding 3-4 tackles on his own.
Here you go. Maybe this will get Burkhalter hot.
Yeah, he needs a little rhythm.
He does, and they need him. They need some big plays from the big-time quarterback.
Well, it's a long season, not looking good here these first couple of games, but season's not lost at all.
Far side, a little quick pitch to Abrams Drain, can't hold on to it. St. Paul's has come back, take the lead over Park Crossing now 20-14.
Well, that'd be a nice win for them.
Yep, Johnny Morris, 16 rushes, closing in on 100 yards. Steve Mask has never lost 3 in a row as the head coach of St. Paul's. And of course, lost their last game last year, lost the first one last week, and trying to keep that from happening tonight. Morris stood up on the inside there, but pushes ahead, and he'll get a couple. Leeds Davidson leads Alma Bryant 17-0, another 7A matchup tonight.
We're talking about the fact that Morris is just a sophomore. It's a good-looking back.
Yeah. Got good size.
Good 2 more years of service out of him, huh?
He looks like he's willing to give.
3rd and 8 here for the Toros. Burkhalter looking downfield, comes out of the backfield again, and Morris squirts up the sidelines, and he's going to have the first down.
Nice job by Burkhalter just to get that outlet there.
He's been the best playmaker tonight on offense.
Yeah, nothing's downfield. Just get it underneath the coverage. Let that back do his thing.
Let's keep an eye on the guy split to the bottom of the screen now. It could be drain time. They need an explosive play here.
Burkhalter looking that way, fakes, and comes out of the backfield back to Morris. Morris makes another man miss, and he's going to have another first down.
Morris is doing his thing. He's keeping them in the football game.
Out of bounds as well, stops the clock as we approach 8 minutes to go in this one.
A dependable guy for such a young athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just playing football.
Yes.
Backyard style.
Drain split out to the top of the screen. Look that way. Get it to him, and he's quickly bumped out of bounds over there. Terrence Muse. And it stops the clock.
Will they be willing to take a shot? Try to get Drain 6 here?
Coach Blackman will take 6 if it's anybody, even if it's that center scoring.
You just have time to concern yourself with.
2nd and 6 here. Toros. They'll bring Patrick in motion. Quick slant goes off the hands of Abrams Drain and incomplete. 3rd down coming up. Got somebody checking in from Lake Martin. Captain Pat Ivy up in Lake Martin. I bet he's...
Jim, you ever took your boat through some of those locks and dams to get it up there to Lake Martin?
I have not, Vic Lockett. That water's not salty. It's a long way to go to get away from the salt water. I've spent my whole life working to get close to the salt water.
You don't want to go fresh, huh?
3rd and 6 here.
Master angler like yourself, that's too easy.
Burkhalter looking for the corner, lobs it up and in traffic, incomplete. As Abrams Drain was not there with single coverage that time.
No, they had 2 there.
And one on top and underneath, huh?
Yeah, that was a good idea. Drain's is such a good athlete. You know, he
got to give him his shots.
Yep, I agree. Oof!
Wow,
came close.
It was the 2nd defender that knocked it out.
Yep, that was a pretty well thrown ball by Burkhalter there.
That was Midnight again.
Yep.
His real name, Midnight.
And Daphne has to take a timeout. They would have had too many men on the field. That would have... That was a 4th down play there. That would have given Spanish Fort an easy 5, but...
You want to keep the margin where it is because of that guy Drain over there and that Coach Blackman.
Audrey Miller, our Scholastic Athlete of the Week from Spanish Fort. Volleyball player, 4.3 GPA. Good grief, look at all that. A honor roll, French National Honor Society, president of Project Outreach, co-president of the French Club. Bunch of stuff I can't pronounce. Peer helpers. Camp of Beautification. Plans to go to, where's she going, Vic Lockett?
That guy.
Going to Auburn to become a physical therapist.
The plane's up there.
Great job by
That's just right
Audrey.
now. We may recruit her over.
And
Lockett never stops.
Nope. Do any of them? And
he's a recruiter.
And we heard from this young man at halftime. Trey Shell's our swimmer, 4.0 unweighted GPA, captain of the swim team for 4 years, state champion in the 100-meter breast 2017 and 18.
Wow.
The 200-meter, 4 years all-state, Scholastic All-American. And he's going to go to college and swim.
Awesome. University of Alabama.
There you go. Set you up, Vic Lockett. 4th down play here. Trying to come to Drain. Incomplete.
Well,
to go right
Daphne
back.
gets it on Bart Downs now.
And Midnight Stewart over there again.
Yeah, Midnight, you're making a name for yourself as if you need to. Definitely a different name, and you're making a difference in this football game.
It's a tough catch for Abrams Drain to try to go up and pull down there a little high. And here's Coach Kenny King. This would be a huge win for his program.
Would you call it a signature win?
Yeah, I mean, that's just, this 4th year here. I mean, it's beating his rivals for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, that's big.
You know,
a rivalry game and a region game.
And knowing that you got next week loading up going against the #1 team in the state as well from a confidence standpoint. And it'll be a big win here, but still 8 minutes to go.
Going to get a good dose of those young running backs, so maybe a little bit of Trent Battle carrying it himself.
Yeah, keep it safe. See if you can put together a big, long drive here.
Joseph Hall coming in to run the ball here. There's our region standings as BC Rain loses tonight. And everybody's going to get their region games cranked up after week 2 here. Battle. This is Hall. Went to the near side and cut it back in the inside, and he stays in bounds at the 30.
Good job running that football to the wide side of the field. Puts it in 3rd and respectable.
3rd and about, call it a long 3. Yeah. Plenty of time on the play clock. And
look over there and get the final play call from the sideline.
Yep. Play clock now down under 10. Daphne's only beaten Spanish Fort once in school history. And this one pulled down by Battle, and he is not going to get the first down.
Yeah, I think Spanish Fort has woke up to that play now. A little hesitation on the pitch there.
Toros will take a timeout here.
It may be close for a measurement.
I thought he was well short on the initial spot over there, but maybe not.
Yeah, because he's demonstrating that he thinks he has the first step. But you're right on the.
And they're going to bring the chain gang
glance.
out, I think, to see.
Going to bring it over to get a measurement.
It's a big measurement.
It is. In terms of Daphne being able to eat some more clock.
Ballers theme song in the back.
Oh, wow, look how close.
Yeah, stick a piece of cardboard in there to be certain.
We need to see that again. So they're
he's going to give it to
up.
They're always generous to the offense. I tell you guys that all the time. And it's a perfect prime example right there.
I don't know if they were generous, Vic. The chain was, pretty much what the chain was.
It's pretty close, pretty close. And if it's close, they're going to go ahead and give it to him.
Trent Battle was like, as soon as he got off the ground, he said, we got the first down. Let's keep going here, coach. And we were,
well, you guys said he's a politician, so he was lobbying to the officials.
He was, and he got it. He got it overturned, or he got it his way anyway.
He did.
An official.
Big first down.
I'm sure we had an official. Oh, I think we're going to take our heat timeout here.
Okay.
Yeah, 6:16. We'll get a heat timeout. And we will take it with him. We'll get Lockett some water.
I need it.
7. Daphne with the ball and the lead. Here with 6 minutes to go. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Amanda Booz in the sideline, Jared Kihas in the truck, David Sharp, our statistician, and our entire Friday Night Rivals crew here. Look at the night for that young man. Give it to Bradley. Bradley trying to squirt free and nothing doing there and stays in bounds. Keep the clock going.
Chomp, chomp, chomp to the clock.
Inside 6 minutes.
Still seeing some things out of Spanish Fort here in the second half that are encouraging, how hard they're playing and how assignment ready they are.
Well, there's no quit in them, and they're in a position that they, frankly, are just not comfortable with, and they're used to putting it on teams like this themselves.
Well, what a year difference it makes for this quarterback for Daphne High School.
Yeah, and just think about how it wasn't great last year for Daphne at times, probably, but that experience that he got so invaluable leading into his junior year. As Joseph Hall gets out to the 35-yard line.
You could see it while he sat with us in the pregame show. You felt something.
Yep.
Like this guy is not a sophomore anymore.
Right.
And then as soon as the game began to unfold, you just watched the kid execute at quarterback.
Yeah, that's the beauty of, we have here. We get to watch young men just continue to mature and have that maturation. And they may not look so well in freshman, sophomore years. Just give them an opportunity, and like he's had this, the blessings he's had working with David Mars, 7-on-7s. All of that has grew his confidence and increased his skills.
Zach Golson, the offensive coordinator, works closely with him.
He's going to keep it. No, pitches it back to Bradley there. And Bradley's got a first down and gets tripped up and then lost his helmet at the end of the play. And he almost took that one up the far side.
Yeah, I tell you what, all that hair, that can pop your lid off.
That's
good effort by him right there. Good effort by the quarterback, too. He played that pitch to the last minute. He was able to flip it out there safely, and he catches it and on the run, kick the sticks.
He's got the perfect hairstyle for his speed.
Yes.
It's like that's what he runs like. When the helmet came off, I said, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He has to sit out a play because he did lose his helmet on that one.
Got to keep your lid, though, to play football.
Have you seen
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that. The helmet's popping off here tonight. The high snap brought down by Battle, then he gives it off to Joseph Hall.
Tell you what, as much money as they're paying Antonio Brown, I'd play without a helmet.
Oof.
Now, how long I'd last, I don't know, but just so
Vic, that's
I
kind of
signed the
going
check.
against kind of the kind of general thinking of football these days. It's really.
Well, their salaries are against the general thinking of football.
I'll tell you what, Braden Moore's had a heck of a game. That linebacker, again, that's just impressed when the team's not having the best night and kids are still going at it really hard.
Credit these coaches.
All up the middle, just picks up about 4. We'll bring up 3rd down here as we close in on 3 minutes.
Here's our guy.
Bradley over 100 yards tonight.
Nice job by that young man. Hitting that century mark.
Yep, he'll remember that.
Did it on TV.
Sophomore and first win over Spanish Fort, it appears, for this Daphne team.
I've seen two really good sophomore running backs tonight.
Yep.
One on each squad. Uh-oh.
Battle wants to go down the near side, looking for Crum. He drops it to him, and he's got it to the 2. Travis Crum, the junior, went streaking up the near sideline, and Battle dropped it right to him for a 51-yard gain.
I would say this is the Trent Battle coming out party, UTV 44.
Yep, I'm with you.
Yep.
And he will archive this tape and show it to his grandkids when we're long gone.
He'll even say, I talked to those clowns before the game. Talking about me and Jim. Great throw.
Yeah.
Wow, what a throw.
What a call.
And the receiver did a great job. He took a second and surveyed where he was on the field in terms of awareness, where he had space to run, and he just ran under it.
But Battle, I just can't say enough about how good he looks and how composed he is and what a leader of this team he is. But a little surprised by the call, but hey, you got to play football to the very end.
Got it rolling right now.
Yeah.
A little shot. Coach King puts it in the air, but he does.
And more of our sponsors of Friday Night Rivals here. Metal Roofing Center and Supply. Bring you our Raise the Roof cam. And Barrow Fine Furniture. And Herc Rentals. Big help to us throughout the year with our equipment needs we have here on high school football Friday nights on UTV 44.
Yeah, I'm afraid those generators they got are going to become scarce here in the next few days. Certainly praying for our neighbors down to our southeast.
We know that. So Battle numbers continue to.
And they put the exclamation point on it with a 2-point conversion.
Bradley with the score, and this one, the first time since 2014, Daphne is going to beat their rivals from Spanish Fort, and wow, just a huge hole up the middle for Tyler Bradley, the sophomore.
I was like jogging down the stairs to the basement. There was nobody in the way, and all downhill. Bradley scores. Good for him because he's had a great game.
Bonner on for the PAT, and he stays perfect on this young season. He's now 8 for 8 with the PATs, and what a performance by Daphne here tonight.
Absolutely.
I mean, you talked about the coming out party, and for Trent Battle on TV, and the defense has played great as well.
And speaking of TV, Coach King mentioned to me pregame how TV hadn't been in his favorable spot. Well, his fortunes have changed tonight.
Yeah, he's not minding the bright lights this evening.
No.
His team is shining, and I think you made a good point too, Jim, because a lot of talk about Battle, and we've been really impressed with him, but just look at the way this entire Daphne team has played. They kind of stalled a little bit in the third quarter.
Yep.
It looked like they came out a little bit flat because they had pretty comfortable lead. But they've turned it on again here in the fourth.
And that drive, almost 6 minutes, 486 yards of total offense tonight here for Daphne.
Yeah.
Well, the Ponders Monday will be seeing what's going on the hill.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it
works in cycles.
Yep, and they'll be, you know, it's still going to be, they'll be there in the battling in the region for sure, you would guess. But this Daphne team this is their night here tonight. No doubt about that.
Balls bouncing their way.
At home, on TV, against their rival. And big boot by Bonner all the way back to the 5. Hickson.
Got allowed past the 20.
Actually, might have been Reed back there on the return. And all of our friends that help get us our Friday night rivals to you every Friday night, Coastal Alabama Community College. So Synovus, did a great job helping with our big peanut butter and jelly challenge all year long. And
I'd like to get a sandwich or two.
How about some peanut butter and jelly on some Fusakli's stick walking?
Let me tell you, I enjoyed that pregame right there. I ate a flock, Dano.
So thanks to Fusakli's, they feed our crew. And we got an injured Trojan down on the 30.
I wish I could say no chickens were harmed in the.
I harmed
a
flock
dinner.
For sure. Does that does? I'm a few hours short of my medical degree, but that does look like a cramp for Robert Hodge.
Well, prayerfully, that's all it is. He can get some Powerade and maybe compete next week. At least those cramps, sometimes, I'm telling you, you just don't want to even put any weight on them or fool with them at all. They are very painful.
Yeah.
Certainly see that lessening as the season goes on. Temperatures will come down a little bit. Body's more conditioned to. You just can't simulate this.
No.
Friday night. Like
the adrenaline, the lights on. Right. Jim Cox here. I mean, that tightens the muscles.
We're here too, Vic.
But Vic knows. 2 minutes to go. Burkhalter. This one off to Jeremiah Hickson, and you can see here that Ben Blackman are ready just to hand this off and
get out of here without any further injuries. You know, championship's not lost here tonight in Daphne.
Reminds me a little bit of this is a game, a performance tonight where one team just came in really ready to go and executed. Not just emotionally was ready to go, but to execute. And a game that we had last year, I would say was similar, was our game with Saraland at St. Paul's. Remember that night?
Yeah.
They did exactly what they wanted to do, the way they wanted to do it.
You're right.
And dominated a good football team. And we're seeing the same thing happen here tonight.
This was 14-0 at the half. You know, it wasn't a blowout. Then it was a touchdown game, and then quick 21-7, and then it just kind of got away with the big plays and the fumble on the punt return, and
that was big.
Yep. Up the middle again.
So when the punt return got muffed, it was 21-7, and Spanish Fort about to get the ball down around their own 25-yard line.
Right.
And the ball just made a beeline for Drain. I don't really blame him for feeling it, because if he lets it go, it bounces 20 yards.
Yeah, and he's a
great player.
Yeah, and you have those superstars. They think they can make it. That's why they're superstars.
Yeah, that's what makes them themselves.
The mental part of it as well. And
but that shut the door on everything.
Burkhalter again will give it off to Hickson, and that'll probably be the last play of the game. No doubt it will be.
And the Daphne fans are feeling it. Long time coming from my perspective.
Yep. First time since 2014. First win in the Kenny King era against their rivals.
And he'll be the first one to lead them out there to show that good sportsmanship. So, love to see the two teams come together. You know, we're now back to one community. We were divided just for a couple of 3 hours on the field, but now that good sportsmanship, and that's what Alabama high school sports is about.
So there we go. Your final score, 35-7. Daphne 1-1 on the year. Spanish Fort 0-2, 0-1 in the region. Daphne 1-0 in the region, and Kenny King's got to be feeling awful good about his team.
I would.
Absolutely. Good about your team, good about the win. You got it at home here, and now you get ready to go back on the road. Another rough week in 6A Region 1. But tonight they get there.
Well, if anybody can weather a 0-2 start, I would say it's the Spanish Fort program because of the caliber of athletes they've got, the caliber of coaches they've got.
Yep.
They can overcome this hole and still get back into this thing and be very, very competitive.
They played two really good football games to start the season as well.
Did. Sure.
So, that's
but in that region, you keep running into them too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, they challenged themselves and they found out about themselves. Now they know what they've got to do, and now they know what they've got to work on. And I can rest assured that Blackman's going to work on it.
All right, let's go down to Amanda and Victorious, Coach Kenny King.
All right, Coach King, a very, very exciting night for you here. You dominated your regional game. It's the first time since 2014. You talked about expectations that, the freshmen coming in that are now seniors had, and your whole team knew what you expected. Talk about that, those expectations that helped you dominate tonight.
Man, as you look today, man, these boys been working so hard, making sure, and like we talked about expectations, we expected that they would come out and play, and that's what they did, man. I give it to the players, the coaching staff, administration, everybody that believe in us. And I'm just excited for the opportunity for the kids.
Well, you know what? I want to highlight you for a second because I'm excited for you. It's your 4th year coaching here. It's your alma mater. As a coach, what does it feel like for you tonight to have dominated this game against your rivalry, Spanish Fort?
Man, it feels great. Rival game, we haven't been able to accomplish that goal, but we was able to accomplish it tonight. But again, I'm just proud of everybody, proud of the team, proud of the coaches, man. They did a heck of a job.
They did. A great way to celebrate your Labor Day weekend, right?
Absolutely. So we're going to look at it this weekend, assess it, and get ready for the next game.
All right, Coach, we're wishing you the best this season. Thank you so much for taking the opportunity to talk to us here at Friday Night Rivals.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jim, back to you.
That's a happy head coach, and rightfully so. Kenny King with a big win, and I think, if you say his biggest win here in Daphne, but season off to a good start now in the region play, defeating your rivals, and it's got to feel good to get that win, especially against the guys from just north of you.
It's scary the way our brains work the same way sometimes, Jim, but I was thinking the same thing. The people aspect of this game, That's a happy coach right now.
Sure.
Vic, you know how much they put into the game plan, and you know how much pressure they feel.
Yeah,
frankly, in the community, you got to win games like this, and so you could see that there was, at the very least, a lot of relief with Coach King.
Yeah, the air is out now. You know, he can stick his chest out for a couple hours, but certainly is on to the next week because this community expects championships as well because they even named the street Champions Way.
Yeah.
And they didn't expect that to just end a few years ago. And that's a coach, too, that likes to spread the accolades around. I love that about him, his coaches, his players, the administration that's behind him and supporting him.
One last quick thought. Sometimes you do see one game that can really set the tone for a season, and you just wonder if we don't look back 6-8 weeks from now and say, it was week 2 that really got Daphne on track.
It could be. They looked so good tonight. They were task-driven and ready to go, and there's your possible players of the game.
All right. Tyler Bradley, running back for the Trojans. Trent Battle, quarterback for the Trojans. Johnny Morris, running back for the Spanish Fort Toros. Go to UTV44.com to vote. Herc Reynolds bringing you our player of the game every Friday night. They get our generators here. They help get us all set up. Thanks so much to our friends there. And go vote at UTV44.com. Big win for Daphne tonight. First time since 2014 they have knocked off Spanish Fort, and they're 1-1. 1-0 in the region, and the Toros drop down to 0-2 on the year. For Amanda down on the sidelines, Vic, Dan, David, our statistician, I'm Jim Cox, Jared Kihas in the truck. Good night from Daphne, where the Trojans get the big win here at home.